said they'll have the beginning of the stream on the TVs again for us. They didn't have that yesterday, so they'll have it again today.
Okay.
They'll start with the logo, the SHN logo that comes through, and then once that's gone, that's when we're live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so about 15, 14, 15.
Yeah, it's 15 on the clock.
Yeah, they play that 5 second stinger open at 15 and then.
Right. Yeah, I told them to go by the clock time, not the actual time on our watch. Yeah. That's off a little bit.
Infantino not playing tonight?
Pardon me?
Infantino not playing tonight?
He's probably scratched now that they've got Tortorella and Bo back.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. Oh, you're okay. I'm just gonna move that right there. Is that okay? All right. Okay. I think it's better. All right. Look up right back up here, man. Thanks.
It's Sentinels hockey time. Sentinels hockey time tonight from the Hamilton Community Ice Arena in Columbus, Indiana. The Federal Prospects Hockey League presents the matchup between the Indiana Sentinels and the Port Huron Prowlers. Welcome to the Sentinels Body Armor pregame show. I'm Jim Mirabello, along with Andy Petziger. It is round 2 in this 5-game set between these two teams that have become great rivals in the FPHL. Last night, the Prowlers skated out of here with a 5-0 win. They got a 29-save shutout effort in net from Bailey Huber. A goal in the first period from Blake Anderson, one in the second from Vincent DeCumbus and Lucas Lackney. They were up 3-0 after 2, added 2 more in the third. Jamie Bussell and Vincent DeCumbus again. The Prowlers outshoot the Sentinels 37-29. 25 minutes in penalty time for Port Huron, 21 for Indiana. The game started with the gloves being dropped between Romeo Terrain and for Port Huron, Brett Morick. And a lot of energy to start for the Sentinels last night, Andy, but Port Huron was able to bounce back.
Yeah, it was a good first 5 minutes for the Indiana Sentinels. Had a lot of jump in their step. That opening shift from Romeo Terrain, where he threw a couple of hits that actually started everything. He had hit Parsons in behind the net, and Brett Morick didn't like it at all, so he threw a check on Romeo Terrain. The next shift that those two guys had after that ended up in a fight at center ice, where Romeo Terrain ended up getting the upper hand and got the takedown, which ends up actually getting Morick out of the game for today. He's out with a shoulder injury from that fight, so it was a really good opening 5 minutes for the Indiana Sentinels, but they were unable to convert on a power play. That gave the Port Huron Prowlers a little bit of momentum, and they just kept building on that as the period went along.
We saw 4 new faces in the lineup last night for Indiana. Kristen Bormanis, who brings some pro experience, Latvian native, had been playing in Latvia the past few years, has a good deal of experience in the FPHL. And then the Davenport connection for head coach Everett Thompson, brought in Brendan Bauer, Noah Bradburn, and Peter Stoichevsky joining the team last night, and we'll have a new face in the lineup tonight as well.
Yeah, could have Darren Trebus coming into the lineup for the Indiana Sentinels. He'll be wearing number 32 on the back end. Spent 7 games in the APHL, a semi-pro hockey league with the Toledo Mobsters. He's a local guy, though. He's played in the area for the last little while. With Toledo, though, he played in 7 games and has 6 assists in that time span. So a defenseman who can play pretty well offensively from the back end is also going to help out a lot in the defensive zone as well.
The Sentinels made another move, acquiring defenseman Seth Bacon, who had been playing this year with the Blue Ridge Bobcats. He will not be in town in time to be in the lineup tonight, so we'll see if he'll be able to join the Sentinels as they swing into action again tomorrow afternoon against this same team, the Port Huron Prowlers, who've had the Sentinels' number of late. 5 consecutive wins now for Port Huron over the Sentinels, and the last 3 have been by a pretty lopsided margin.
Yeah, and there were a couple games in Port Huron where the Sentinels really didn't put forth their best effort. There was a couple things that were going on behind the scenes as well, a couple bus issues and all that. But, you know, excuses aside, it has not been a very good effort from the Indiana Sentinels that we've seen from them against different teams. We saw Saturday night against Danbury putting up 51 shots on net. We weren't even close to that kind of an effort yesterday against Port Huron, and life's not going to get too much easier today as they're going to go back with the number 1 goaltender in Reed Cooper.
Reed Cooper gets the start in net tonight, and Huber, who got the shutout last night, will not be in uniform tonight, and their third goaltender, Jamison Bork, will be the backup goaltender for Port Huron, who is the most penalized team in the FPHL. 1,175 minutes compiled in 40 games for the Prowlers. Contrast that to the least penalized team in the league, the Twin City Thunderbirds with 545 minutes in time, and for the Sentinels, who have 802 minutes in penalty time throughout the season so far. And this Indiana power play, you would think, which has really been struggling, could have some opportunities tonight.
Well, we beat the horse dead yesterday with that power play. They had 11 chances on the power play yesterday and had a lot of really good looks. We're able to move it around the zone pretty well, and I mentioned it as well. They had a great puck retrieval in the offensive zone as well. It didn't make life easy for Port Huron to try to clear the puck out. So if they have that same effort again today, they had a couple backdoor opportunities as well that it flubbed right off the end of the stick. So if they're able to finish on a couple of those, who knows what can end up happening in the game.
For a player's perspective on last night's game and what the Sentinels need to do to turn things around tonight, earlier today, Andy checked in with one of the newest members of the Sentinels, forward Peter Stoychevsky.
Andy Petzinger here, pregame with new guy Peter Stoychevsky. Peter, you had your first FPHL game last night. How'd you feel that it went?
I mean, I think it went pretty good personally, but losing's never fun. Never want to lose.
Yeah.
So time to battle back today and get a win.
Did it feel like it took you a little while to get your feet underneath you, or were you pretty integrated right away since you'd just gotten done with your college season?
The first period was definitely tough. It's a different game. It's a lot faster, a lot tougher. So just trying to make the plays that mattered and get the puck down low.
Tell us a little bit about your career at Davenport University and just your connection with Everett Thompson.
Yeah, so I played 4 years at Davenport, and Everett was our assistant coach our second year. So I got to play under him for a full year, and I really enjoyed playing under him. And when he gave me the call to come here, it was kind of a no-brainer.
Would you say that the style of play that he has with the Indiana Sentinels, is it pretty similar to what you guys are running out in Davenport?
Yeah, there's definitely some similarities and some differences. I mean, Everett's really big on playing fast hockey and being in their face, and it's the same thing he had us doing in Davenport.
Well, you guys got thrown into the fire yesterday playing against the Port Huron Prowlers. Were you aware of how big of a rivalry that this has turned into in the short time?
Yeah, the boys were saying a little bit about it.
What are you guys expecting for tonight's game? Is there anything that you guys are trying to implement a little bit differently from yesterday? Because you got a couple of really nice looks, especially on the power play. Just couldn't find the way to get the puck in the back of the net. So what are some of the things that you guys are hoping to implement today?
I mean, win. I think that's the end result here. You got to win games, right? So
Find a way to win.
yeah, find a way to win tonight. That's the goal.
Perfect. Peter Stoychevsky, thank you very much. We'll go back to the booth.
Peter Stoychevsky, Richmond Hills, Ontario native, making his pro debut with the Sentinels last night, joining Andy as they get set to face it off here tonight. Again, this team has played Port Huron quite a few times this year. This will be the 11th meeting of the regular season between these two teams. 8 of the 10 games played previously have been in Port Huron. The success that the Sentinels have had against Port Huron came in their building 9-3 way back on the 15th of November. It was the first win in Sentinels franchise history. Bo Zinchenko had the hat trick that night for Indiana. All 3 of Bo's goals came in period number 1. The Sentinels put 5 goals on the board that night at McMorran Place Arena. A 5-1 lead after 1 en route to a 9-3 victory, and Andy Bo will be back in the lineup tonight. He and Maximus Merrick Tortorella have been nursing illnesses, and they are back in uniform and ready to go here tonight.
Yeah, it seems like the illness is kind of traveling through the team a little bit. I know Richie Colarusso wasn't feeling so great yesterday. Might have been a reason why he got booted 5 minutes early, wanted to take a nice hot shower. But, yeah, it's going to be a nice little shot in the arm for the Indiana Sentinels to have those guys back. Maximus Merrick Tortorella will not be up front as he normally is as a forward. He's going to fall back and become a defenseman here, which will help out the Indiana Sentinels on the back end and give Blake Peavy a little bit of time to get back up to his normal position up at the centerman spot.
Peavy is the Sentinels team captain, and he has 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points in 7 games for Indiana. Playing defensively, pressed into that scenario, and with the experience he has, he was a natural choice to do that under the circumstances, but he'll be able to move back up front tonight for Indiana with Maximus Merrick Tortorella playing defense and Darren Trebus, a defenseman by trade, added to the lineup tonight for Indiana. So of the 10 previous meetings, the Sentinels winning 3. The first one we talked about on the 15th of November in Port Huron, the first win in franchise history. The Sentinels did get a 4-3 win in Port Huron on the 12th of December. They rattled back from a 2-0 deficit. Ivan Panovanov scored the game-winning goal. Midway through the third period, John Werber got the win in net. And the Sentinels followed that up one night later with a 4-2 victory in Port Huron. 43 saves for Werber that night to get the win as well. And for Port Huron, they got back in the win column with a 3-2 overtime victory here on New Year's Eve in the first game played between these two teams in this building. And it was Matt Graham getting the overtime game winner. And the Prowlers have put him in the win column against the Sentinels ever since. They followed that up with a 4-3 overtime win in Port Huron. Nick Favaro with the overtime game winner that night. And then the next 3 games, 5-1 Port Huron in Port Huron on the 3rd, and then 5-1 again on the 4th. 5-0 last night. So we'll see if the Sentinels can turn the tide and get some success against this team that they have matched up well against at times this year.
Well, one of the things that I'm going to be keeping an eye on specifically today is the face-off circle. Yesterday, they won 22 face-offs. They were about 500 overall, but specifically in the defensive zone, they'd only won 4 face-offs the entire game out of 15 opportunities. So that's something where you have to put yourself in a position of success, win those draws in the defensive zone so you can easily get out of your own end. Don't give them possession immediately off the draw.
The Sentinels and the Port Huron Prowlers are getting set to face it off here at the Hamilton Community Ice Arena. Elsewhere around the FBHL from last night, the Twin City Thunderbirds in a high-scoring affair defeated the Watertown Wolves 8-6. Indiana with an opportunity to try and catch Watertown and move up in the Empire Division standings. Right now, the Sentinels with 39 points and certainly, or rather with 29 points, and certainly Watertown still potentially within striking distance with 41 points in the number 6 spot in the Empire Division. So 8-6, the Twin City Thunderbirds win it last night. PD Ice Cats go on the road, beat the Blue Ridge Bobcats 5-2. Binghamton Black Bears continue to roll right along. They get their 7th win of the year last night, 6-0 over the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Columbus River Dragons on home ice defeat the Biloxi Breakers 4-0. Added was the Baton Rouge Zydeco, winning in Topeka 3-2. The final score, Baton Rouge wins it. Elsewhere around the league tonight, Twin City Thunderbirds hosting the Watertown Wolves. Binghamton trying to run their win streak to 8, playing host to the Danbury Hat-Tricks. The PD Ice Cats are on the road in Blue Ridge. The Columbus River Dragons visit Biloxi, and the Baton Rouge Zydeco are in Topeka tonight to take on the Scarecrows. Now the starting lineups for tonight's contest between the Sentinels and the Port Huron Prowlers. And first for the visiting Prowlers, Reed Cooper gets the nod in net. He is their number 1 goaltender. He has carried most of the load this year. 6'2", 195-pounder out of Saskatchewan, has a record of 19 wins, 8 losses, 1 overtime loss, a great 2.37 goals against average, and a save percentage of .926. On defense, it'll be Ben Brockway matched up with Brian Parsons, and up front, Lucas Lackney with Reggie Millette and Matt Graham. Team leaders for the Prowlers, Bobby Price is the goal leader with 18. Alex Johnson, the assist leader with 30. Point leaders, Matt Graham and Alex Johnson with 38 each. Graham with 16 goals, 22 assists. 8 goals and 30 assists for Johnson. Ben Brockway, the penalty minute leader for the Prowlers. And the two teams about to face it off here in just a bit. Brockway leading the way in penalty minutes. The power play goal leader is Matt Graham. And Andy, one of the things that stands out with Port Huron is they're a team that's a very balanced attack. They've got 7 players with 10 or more goals on the season.
Well, they've also got quite a few guys who have been here for a very, very long time. You don't necessarily see this many players who have stuck with one team for as long as they have. I mean, you're looking at guys like you were just talking about, Matt Graham. He's been with Port Huron since 2017, 2018. So this is a guy who certainly knows how to play at this level, and that's rubbed off on a lot of people on the Port Huron roster.
Now the starting lineup for the Indiana Sentinels, and the Sentinels up front, starting Philip Tomacek. We'll get a chance to see him on the front line with Bo Zinchenko and Jonas Lees, and that's a combination that looks like it could be fun to watch.
Yeah, that should be a pretty high-powered combination. I would like to see a guy like Philip Tomacek almost take on a Jakob Wolf kind of role on that line, kind of stir the pot a little bit and get to the front of the net, while Jonas Lees and Bo Zinchenko do a lot more of the heavy lifting offensively.
Bo Zinchenko is Indiana's goal leader currently with 12, and he'll be up front with Jonas Lees and Philip Tomacek on the starting front line. Defensively for Indiana, Vlad Pavlov with Maximus Merrick Tortorella. Good to see Tortorella back in the lineup for Indiana. He does have some offensive capabilities. 6 goals, 4 assists, 10 points on the year for Tortorella, paired up on the back line to start tonight's game with Vlad Pavlov, who has some good offensive skills in his own right from a defensive position.
Yeah, there's a lot of offense coming from the back line with both of those guys, so it needs to be some communication, though, as far as who's going and who's staying back.
Chris Kerr gets the nod in net tonight for Indiana. Coach Everett Thompson coming right back with Kerr. He'll make his second consecutive start. And Kerr, Alberta native, 6 foot, 180-pounder, anxious to get back between the pipes tonight, and squaring off against one of the top goaltenders in the FPHL in Reed Cooper, who will be in goal down to our right for the Port Huron Prowlers. Kerr with a record of 3-5-2 on the season, with a 3.61 goals against average and a save percentage of .896. Face-off in a moment, but first, our national anthem from the Hamilton Community Ice Arena. The first period of Indiana Sentinels hockey is brought to you by Sprague Hotel Developers. The Sentinels have played 39 games. They've won 7, lost 26 in regulation time, 4 overtime losses, no overtime wins, 2 shootout wins, 29 points, in 7th place in the Empire Division, and 13th overall in the league standings. The Port Huron Prowlers have played 40 games. They've won 22. Lost 13 in regulation time, 1 overtime loss, 3 overtime wins, 1 shootout win with 75 points. They are in the number 2 spot in the Empire Division and 5th overall in the FPHL. The Sentinels will be decked out in their home dark blue jerseys with the white numerals, the blue helmets, and the gold trim. And the Port Huron Prowlers are in their road whites tonight with the red numerals and the red and the black trim.
Chris Kerr getting the start tonight. The first time he's gone back-to-back days with starts since back in October on the 31st and November the 11th against Topeka. So been a little while since Kerr has gone back-to-back in starting roles, but this is his 4th straight game. He came in relief last Saturday for John Werber against the Danbury Hat-Tricks. And we had mentioned Reed Cooper. Cooper is leading the FPHL in save percentage. He is 2nd in wins and goals against and 3rd in shutouts. So a Indiana Sentinels team who is having a little bit of trouble putting the puck in the back of the net, going up against one of the best goaltenders in the league.
Jonas Lease on the face-off against Matt Graham. Draw won by the Sentinels. Puck directed ahead by Ponovanov into Port Huron territory. Reggie Millette out here defensively on the right side for Port Huron. Puck played to DeCumbers. Now to Millette to the Sentinel line on right wing. Millette snaps it off the boards in deep. It rolls around the horn near side to Lackney. He's got some room to work. Lackney skates into the left wing corner with it. Plays catch in behind the net. And out now to Johnson at the left wing, over to Millette. Shoots one, and that's blockered aside by Kerr, and it goes off that blocker and up over the glass and out of play. We've got our first play stoppage, and with that, a penalty against Indiana to start the game. An equipment violation is what's been announced, so the Prowlers start the game tonight on the power play.
Just 31 seconds into the game. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's to start the hockey game. Goodness gracious.
It was a warm-up violation, a bench minor against Indiana. Not sure specifically what the violation was, but it's a 2-minute minor and a power play for Port Huron. Paul Jean and Chris Rowe are the referees tonight. They are the same two who worked last night. And it's the linesmen who were on the ice during warm-up. Jeremy McWalter and Brian Thurnauer are the linesmen tonight. So the Prowlers, who've struggled on the power play this year, that's been the lone weakness, really, that this team has had. And they're on the man advantage to begin the game as they've got the puck moving in the Indiana end. They get it to Price. Left wing side Indiana territory. Feeds Favaro with a point. Shoots one wide on the glove side of Kerr. Puck loose. Terrain gets to it. Can he clear? No. Kept in. Right point by Favaro. Shoots right on, and Kerr stops that. Loose puck. Terrain gets to it, and he'll clear it all the way down deep into the Port Huron end. So a good effort there by Terrain. Wasting no time getting that puck out of danger and down deep into the Port Huron end.
That's a good clear by Terrain. Nice and hard and high up off the glass, making sure that puck gets out.
34 seconds to go on the power play. Millette to the Indiana line. A little give and go with Graham. Back to Millette. Cuts behind the Indiana net. One-arming that puck on the left wing side. Puts on the brakes outside the right circle. Reggie Millette looks for an open man. Delivers back to the right point to Alex Johnson. And back now, right side Millette. Right wing corner. Puck dug free by the Prowlers, and can they keep it in? Over to challenge and get it out to center is Lease. Ahead now for Zinchenko, back shorthanded. 2 men back to prevent Zinchenko from getting a shorthanded chance as the penalty expires. So the Sentinels are successful on their very first Powerade penalty kill. And so Indiana shuts down Port Huron with a 2-minute power play opportunity that came right at the opening faceoff. And the Prowlers start from deep in their own territory. They have just one shot on goal from that power play chance. And they bring the puck to center. Handling it is Lockhart into the Indiana end toward the net for an opportunity, and unable to get it home. As he came charging toward the net on a backhand was Jamie Bucell. And the puck cleared by the Sentinels out to center. Prowlers play it in deep again. Ponovanov after it in behind the net, pursued by Alexander Ray. Loose puck, Terrain able to gather it in. Terrain slides it along the left wing boards. Not out, though. Held in right point by Lockhart. Sentinels challenge him, and the puck knocked away to center ice. Indiana nothing, Port Huron nothing. Just getting started on this Saturday night here at the Hamilton Community Ice Arena. Sentinels trying to get on the win column. Something they haven't done in a while and not done often at home. Here's Bauer for Indiana at center ice. Tried to play it into the Prowler end, but Port Huron unable to let that develop any further, and back comes Price up left wing. Now Indiana in. Price cutting in deep, slowed down by Pavlov. Turns on the speed, gets the puck back to the right point for a long shot, deflects wide of the net as Brian Parsons let it go. Panovanov up with a carom off the boards, and now Esposito with it, and he'll backhand it out to center ice. And it comes back down deep into the Port Huron end, and we've got a penalty coming up. We had Peter Stoichevsky getting tangled up with one of the Prowlers here with 3:42 gone in period number 1. And Indiana is going to get a chance now on the power play, the Haas Insurance power play. Then Brockway's going to head off. 2 minutes for interference.
Well,
And when will that power play connect?
that's good hard work by Peter Stoichevsky. That was a one-on-one, and he just kept moving his feet there, trying to get into the offensive zone, and had to get held up by Brockway.
And hard work often draws penalties, and that's what Stoichevsky did. Sentinels with a chance right off the draw on the shot from the left wing side by Stoichevsky. It's stopped by Cooper, and he hangs on to it. 7 seconds elapsing off of that penalty clock. Indiana's power play, 15% to start the night. Penalty killing for Port Huron has a success rate of 83%. So Brockway in the box, 2 minutes for interference. Brockway, the penalty minute leader for the Prowlers with 141. Brian Parsons right behind him with 139. Sentinels get the puck to the right side on this power play. Tomacek with it. Drops it off to the goal line to the right of the net to Bauer. Back down to Panovanov. Moves laterally. Shoots through a screen. Blocked. Sentinels keep the play alive. It is Stoichevsky left wing. Off to the right wing side for a chance right on net. A good shot by Tomacek that is stopped by Cooper. Panovanov keeps it alive. Off to the left wing side. They set up a chance for Zinchenko, and the stop is made by Cooper, and he hangs on to it. Still a lot of time to work with on this power play, and some great puck movement by the Sentinels on their first man advantage of the night.
Well, good puck movement and a little bit of puck luck as well for the Indiana Sentinels. Matt Graham had his stick knocked out of his hands, which could have been called a penalty, but we played on. And naturally, when the puck ended up going to one of the Prowlers, it was to the stickless Matt Graham, and he couldn't clear the puck out, so it stayed in the zone. He tried to glove it out to the neutral zone. Panovanov kept it alive, and a couple really good chances for the Indiana Sentinels on the power play again.
Matt Graham, stick back in hand, opposes Lias on the faceoff in the left wing circle of the Port Huron end. Puck knocked into the far corner. Zinchenko trying to dig it loose. And also in there for Indiana, Bormanis. And the puck is dug free, but the Prowlers get possession. They can't clear. Excellent work by the Sentinels to keep it alive, and the shot from the left wing side. Right on net by Zinchenko, stopped, and then Lias fans on the rebound opportunity. Zinchenko now to Pavlov at the right point to Lias in the right wing corner. He'll step out of the corner with the puck, come toward the back of the Port Huron goal. Slide it to the right of the net for a chance on goal, and the stop made as Christers Bormanis had the opportunity there. And Indiana with all kind of pressure now and 5 shots on goal on this power play.
Bormanis, a brilliant job on the back-checking effort. That was a clearing attempt for Port Huron that he got his stick in the lane of, caused a turnover, ends up going to Zinchenko, who gets 2 shots on net. Lees has an opportunity at the back door, unable to tap that one in. And once again, the Sentinels really cooking on the power play, just not able to find that finishing touch just yet.
Peavy is out here with Tomacek. And Brendan Bauer, the line up front on the power play. Panovanov at the right point. Stoichevsky on the left. Players tie one another up off the face-off. Prowlers come away with the puck. Skating in behind his own net is Brett Lockhart. Finds an opening to sail it through all the way down deep into Indiana territory, and Kerr leaves the puck for Panovanov. Time for one more good rush on this power play. Outlet pass delivered left wing side. Tomacek into Port Huron territory. Knocks that puck in deep and behind the net. Goes in after it. Bauer as well. Prowlers try and clear, and they do. Panovanov able to knock it down, settle it down at center. Good pass ahead now for Tomacek. And as he's hit, he floats one toward the net that's wide of the goal. Penalty down to 8 seconds. Puck bouncing around in behind that Port Huron net. Tomacek after it for Indiana to Panovanov at the right point. Open man, left wing side. Peavy shooting, and the glove stop is made by a goaltender who's seen more than his share of the puck here early on, Reed Cooper. Able to make the save as tempers start to heat up a little bit in the Port Huron end with a penalty expiring, and 14-17 remaining here in period number 1. Indiana nothing, Port Huron nothing at the Hamilton Community Ice Arena on the Sentinels Hockey Network.
team, from the most simplistic things to the most complex, are phenomenal. They're informative, responsive, and something that's important to me, they're honest.
As a business owner myself, I know how important it is to protect your livelihood. I'm Scott Weatherford, owner of Richard Hawes Insurance. Give me a call today and we can chat about how an independent agent can save your business money.
No, they're not.
Excellent work on the power play for the Sentinels, but nothing to show for it on the score sheet, unfortunately. But that should help build some confidence in this power play unit.
Oh, absolutely. Once again, phenomenal puck work by the Indiana Sentinels on the power play, getting plenty of shooting opportunities. I want to say all 6 shots that they have on net right now are on that power play. So it's, once again, you can almost taste it. It's right there. They just are not able to find the back of the net just yet. But I said it before and I'll say it again. You can't change what you're doing just because it hasn't gone in yet.
Dalton Anderson against Alexander Ray on the face-off. Stick side of Cooper. Prowlers get to it, can't clear, kept alive by Pavlov. He thought he did, but the linesman with a late whistle indicating that it's offside. So they'll bring that puck outside the Prowler blue line for the face-off with 14:10 remaining here in period number 1.
First shift on defense for Maximus Merrick Tortorella. He's paired up with Vlad Pavlov, as you see.
Tortorella will work the left side of the defense, and Pavlov over on the right. And the Prowlers have the puck from the faceoff. Played to Millette, right wing at center. And he'll throw it in deep into the near corner of the Sentinels' end. Pavlov is back after it. Graham in for, checking for Port Huron. Graham tied up along the boards by Bradburn. Puck rolls free. Esposito with it over on the far side of his own end. Drops it off for Pavlov. He'll scoot it through an opening on the right wing side and out to center. Prowlers regroup at center ice. Indy nothing. Port Huron nothing here in period number 1. Lackney for Port Huron, able to dump it in deep into the Indiana end. Favaro after it now, in deep along the left wing side. Puck freed up to Favaro. His shot right with it is Kerr. Rising shot as Kerr dropped to his knees, got the glove up, made the save to stop play with 6:37 gone here in this first period.
Good save there from Chris Kerr, picking that one up. Bit of a sharp-angled shot coming off the boards. Was able to grab that one out of the air and give up no rebound as he had 2 white sweaters swimming around the crease. Not giving anything else up there.
Ucel Ray and Bizel out here up front for Fort Huron, at least for the Sentinels, with Colarusso on his right and Zinchenko on the left. And the Prowlers in the faceoff, snapped wide from long range by Parsons on the right wing side. Puck kept in by Brockway, over to Parsons again. Delivers it in deep and behind the Indiana net. First one there, Bucell, one of the alternate captains for the Prowlers. Leaving the puck now for Connor Bizal, left wing side. He'll roll it along the right wing side. Bucell is there. Try to go back to Bizal. It bounces toward the front of the Indiana net. Kept alive and scrambled to the near side. Zinchenko there for Indiana, unable to play it out. But now a second chance on the clear for Tomacek. He's tied up. Colarusso now settles that bouncing puck down, gets it across on the left wing side, and we get our first look at Darren Trebus for Indiana out here now on defense. And the puck cleared by the Sentinels out through center and down deep into Port Huron territory. Sentinels try and get the forechecking pressure on, but the Prowlers come away with possession of it. And sent through center down deep into Indiana territory. Kerr stopping it in behind the net. 2 Prowlers converging. Sentinels have to hustle back as Kerr scrambles to get back into the net, and the Sentinels are able to successfully clear that puck out of danger. And the Prowlers from their own end play it out to center. Peavy after it. He's knocked down at center ice. Fans wanting a penalty, and there is a penalty forthcoming against Port Huron. Delayed call. Sentinels with the puck. Here's Bauer in his own end, and now as Port Huron got possession, the whistle blows. A hooking call drawn by Blake Peavy will put the Sentinels on the power play for the second time tonight. Off to the box for Port Huron skates Bobby Price.
Saw a very similar penalty being called because of Blake Peavy yesterday. As you see, there's Ryan Furr, the new owner of the Indiana Sentinels, right on your screen. But two hard-working plays that drew penalties for the Indiana Sentinels.
And Ryan would like nothing more than this power play to start to kick in. Haas Insurance power play for Indiana. This will be their second chance. They're 0 for 1. Port Huron 0 for 1 on the man advantage. Sentinels had a ton of pressure and a lot of shots, 6 of them on their last power play chance. Puck in the right wing corner. Jonas Lees for Indiana with it. Leaves it for Zinchenko. Back to Lees outside the right circle. Now to Zinchenko again. Delivers right point. Pavlov skates along the blue line. Feeds Maximus Merrick, Tortorella, or Colarusso. The shot save made. Rebound loose in front. They scramble for it, and Cooper has that puck covered. And one of the Sentinels, Zinchenko, got mugged in front of the net. Gets back up after his helmet was knocked off. Zinchenko and Port Huron's Ben Brockway. And Brockway being held back by the linesman. Zinchenko skating away. And Bo Zinchenko, who is a finesse player, he has accumulated 33 minutes in penalty time on the year compared to Brockway's 141 coming into tonight.
Bo's not afraid to drop him. He dropped him a couple weekends ago in Danbury and had a pretty good tilt there. And that's a good play by Bo Zinchenko. That puck was laying free, and there was no whistle that had sounded. So that is fair game until you hear a whistle. So good job by Bo Zinchenko trying to get his nose dirty.
Zinchenko on the bench now, and the Sentinels with about a minute and a half to go on this power play chance. Get it in front, and it hopped off Tomacek's stick. He would have had a good chance there had he been able to settle it down. Sentinels try and keep the play alive, but for Port Huron, handling the puck, Reggie Millette, and he clears to center. Stoychevsky for Indiana. Plays it back to Ivan Panovanov in his own end. Outlet pass to Bauer, knocked away from him. Bauer recovers, delivers back to Stoychevsky. He'll send it off the right wing boards out to center, right to Lockhart to take time off the penalty clock. Lockhart just dumps it into the Indiana end and will head to the bench here to get some fresh troops on for Port Huron. 51 seconds to go on the power play for Indiana. Left wing side for the Sentinels, Bormanis. Playing it back to the point area to Colarusso, back to Bormanis. Now to the left wing side for a chance on net by Stoychevsky. That's turned aside and unable to keep it into the point is Pavlov as the Prowlers look to clear, and Pavlov will have to retreat with that puck in his own end. 28 seconds to go on the power play. Good skating by Bormanis at center, and he'll dump it in deep into the left wing corner. Port Huron end. Leas in after it. Joining him, Bormanis trying to dig that puck loose. 15 seconds on the power play. Prowlers content to keep it in, hemmed up along the boards as long as they can. Bormanis trying to nudge that puck free in behind the net as the time is down to 4 seconds, and now a whistle. And the play stops. The referee, the trail referee out at center ice, blowing the whistle to stop play with 4 seconds to go on the power play. 9:55 remaining in the period.
Or they call it a delay of game penalty on Port Huron here?
We may be getting a delay of game call on Port Huron. They just had the opportunities to move that puck along the boards, and they did not. That is the impression that I'm getting from the way that was called and where it was called from. So it comes with 4 seconds to go on the penalty to Bobby Price. And the officials are discussing it out there.
While we have a moment, the Indiana Sentinels have a new season ticket package that they are running out for next year. A pretty phenomenal sales. You see it there on your screen. Full season, which is a normal price of $420, only $300. And look all you get with that. 28 home games and exclusive perks. And for a half season, normally $210, get it for $150. That's 14 home games. So it's an early sale for the 26-27 season. Go ahead and scan that QR code and get your place early, because with a deal that good, I don't know how many are going to be left around.
And you've got to do it between now and May 1st to qualify for the early ticket plans. A savings of $120 off the full season ticket plan, and a pretty substantial savings on the half-season ticket plan as well. Well, they've not put any penalty time on the board against the Prowlers, so apparently the discussion between the 4 officials results in no penalty call. And 4 seconds left on the Indiana power play. Face-off left circle, Port Huron territory. Prowlers control, and we're back to even strength now. And the puck along the right wing side, Indiana's Anderson knocking down Ray at center, but he gets the puck ahead to Bazal. And from the left circle, Bazal's shot blocked by Pavlov. That enables Bradburn to come away with it. He gains center red and dumps it down deep into the Port Huron end. And in behind the Prowler net, Port Huron able to get possession of the puck, and they'll bring it up to center. Graham to the Indiana line on the right wing side, knocked off stride. Zinchenko taps the puck to center. He's got it up left wing. Zinchenko, good speed, snaps one wide of the net from the left wing circle. And the Prowlers get possession, and they'll clear. Over halfway home, a broken stick lying on the ice right now between center red and the Port Huron blue line. Zinchenko with a puck in his own territory. Lead feed intended for Lees, broken up at the Port Huron line by Lucas Lackney. And for Port Huron now, Favaro with it. Delivers to Graham, who directs it from the left wing side in deep into Indiana territory. Panovanov back after it. Panovanov facing pressure in behind the net, but frees that puck up for Philip Tomacek for Indiana. Clearing attempt, Millette kept it in. Millette steering it toward the front of the net, but right there to drive it out of danger is Tomacek back into Port Huron territory. Indiana with 8 shots on goal, Port Huron with 2. And the Prowlers have the puck, and they'll launch it in deep into the right side of the Indiana end. Terrain back after it. Terrain taken to the boards on the right wing side by Price, but the Sentinels come away with the puck. Here is Zinchenko. Good move up right wing. Zinchenko bearing it toward the net. One on goal, and the stop is made by Cooper. Great effort by Zinchenko. He had a man draped on him from behind, and that was Brett Lockhart. But Zinchenko able to generate a scoring chance off of that. Now Zinchenko and company tied up on the boards. Big jam up in behind that Port Huron net, and they will blow the whistle to stop play once again.
Well, I'll tell you, you never really see the whistle getting blown on plays like that in today's game.
I was going to say, it reminds me of the old days.
It never goes that way, but usually if the referee or the linesman sees that puck isn't moving, they'll scream at you, move it, and they'll waste a good 3 minutes if they want to, unless it's late in a hockey game. So it's interesting that we've gotten 2 calls like that this early, unless they're just hoping to make sure that nothing comes up after the fact, no pushing or shoving.
Face off, right wing circle, Port Huron end. Sentinels get it to Bormanis, who shot one wide of the net, and the carry off the boards. The Prowlers have it. They start into the Indiana end. DeCumbus trying to center, broken up. On the counterattack, Bormanis delivers left side to Bauer. Shoots it in deep into the far corner of the Port Huron end. Prowlers up with it, and they'll bring it out to center ice. 7.5 to go here in period number 1. Sentinels getting back defensively as Anderson's got the puck. Anderson from the top of the left circle putting it on net. Looked like it was heading wide, but Kerr takes no chances, and then tempers heat up and around that Sentinel net again after Kerr had gloved that puck. And the officials are in there to calm things down. One of the Prowlers got knocked on his wallet. Bobby Price gets back up. He's wanting a penalty. I don't think one's going to be called here. We've had 6 minutes in penalty time in the game so far. 2 to Indiana. That off a pregame warm-up violation, a bench minor that was assessed right at the opening faceoff. And then at 3:42 for Port Huron, Brockway went for interference. And then at 8:11, Price went for hooking. That's been it as far as the penalties are concerned. And a face-off in the left wing circle of the Sentinels end. Prowlers control. Johnson, left point. Works it into the left wing circle. James has it there. Johnson lost his stick. Has to go to the bench for a new one. Kept it on for Port Huron. Bucell with it. Takes a hip check, but sends it in behind the Indiana net. Maximus Merrick Tortorella is there to try and clear. Pavlov also, but the Prowlers work the puck free. Back to Favaro. Dangling with it at the left point. Almost loses the handle. Does. It's tapped out to center by Bradburn. Giving chase. Tomachak arriving first, though, for Fort Huron is Johnson to deny the Sentinels a scoring chance off that good defensive effort. Prowlers on the move now. Ray up left wing. Hip check by Ponovanov. James with the puck to Bucell is shot and the stop made by Kerr. And the Sentinels after the loose puck whistle. Stopping play here with 6:39 to go in the period. And a penalty coming up here. Referee Paul G.
They're calling a delay of game on Ethan Esposito, saying that he closed his hand on the puck inside the defensive zone. Everett Thompson saying he didn't close his hand on it. He just dropped it. Not sure he's going to win this battle. Oh, hang on.
Right now, Esposito is in the penalty box. And a discussion is going on between Fort Huron's associate head coach, who runs things on the bench, with their head coach, Matt Graham, in uniform. Chris Pavlin, the associate head coach for Fort Huron, is in the discussion right now with referee Paul Jean, who made the initial call against Esposito.
Well, and I just looked at it. Esposito tosses the puck onto the ice and then overskates it and has to try to double back to go and grab it. It was touched by one of the other Sentinels. So in that instance, he didn't grab the puck. He caught it and just tossed it back down to the ice. If you take 2 strides, that's where you get the delay of game call, and you're still holding on to the puck. That's not what it looked like happened there. Esposito dropped it, overskated the puck, and was touched by one of the other Sentinels. So in that instance, that should be a hand pass. So we're getting an explanation to Everett Thompson as well, unless there was something else that had happened behind the play that we weren't able to see.
Right now, Paul Jean talking with Everett Thompson, and the conversation's not heated, at least from our view of it, as they're discussing it. They've got 2 minutes on the board against Esposito, and it'll be interesting to find out what the explanation for this will be.
Well, 2 odd penalties for the Sentinels in this game. One before the puck was even dropped, and now we've got a delay of game call for Esposito on a phantom grabbing of the puck.
The rule book states you cannot clinch your hand around the puck and move it forward. And here's Johnson for Port Huron into the Indiana end. You rarely see that called. You don't see it happen that often.
Yeah.
We've seen a couple of oddities here in the game so far tonight, and it's early. Here's Lackney left wing, and Kerr screened, able to make the stop. After the puck for Port Huron, Graham out to Johnson at the left point. Johnson lets a long-range shot go, and a save made by Kerr. A big rebound. Tomachak able to corral it now for Indiana. He finds an opening, and he'll clear it.
Got to be careful there with Matt Graham on the front door. That's his home on the power play, and he leads this Prowlers team with 6 power play goals.
Sentinels on the Powerade penalty kill. Millette handling the puck for Port Huron. 58 seconds to go on the man advantage. Millette room to work out of the left wing corner. Millette serving the situation. Little give and go with Graham. Back to Millette. Left wing boards. Millette still looking. Will somebody challenge? The Sentinels stay in the box defense. They get it to Graham in behind the net. Back to Millette. Left wing. Out to Lackney at the left point. Zinchenko challenging, knocked it away. Millette keeps it alive. Now to Lackney. Lee steps into Lackney, and Zinchenko gets to the puck and clears it on the backhand down deep into the Port Huron end.
You mentioned the Port Huron power play really struggling. Nobody moving there. Reggie Millette just standing still. Everybody else standing still. When we saw 5-on-5 yesterday, they were moving themselves and the puck. That's what made them dangerous. They're not doing that on the power play right now, and it's easy for the Sentinels to kill this off.
If it was basketball, we'd have been watching the shot clock.
Yeah.
And here are the Prowlers with the puck again. Ray putting it in front, and shot just wide on the doorstep by Ray, or make it Lockhart. How'd he ever miss that one? Puck to center for Varro with a Bucell down left wing to Ray, and with a shot on the stop. Curse crawling on his belly on the ice. Has that puck covered, and really things heat up now in front of the Indiana net. Peavy and Bucell squaring off. You've got Konovanov and one of the Prowlers down on the ice. They are the main combatants right now, the only ones. Stepping up, Alexander Ray out of that pile with his helmet off. Pavlov still on top of his man. They're giving each other a couple of shots in the middle of that pile, or Konovanov rather, that is.
It's Anderson, Blake Anderson.
Konovanov and Anderson. And they'll each head off. Blake Anderson, 5'10", 175-pounder, 59 minutes in penalty time. Ivan Konovanov, 6'1", 198-pounder, 27 minutes in penalty time on the year for him. Anderson will sit down for Port Huron, and Konovanov for Indiana. 0-0, 4:29 remains. First period here at the Hamilton Community Ice Arena on the Indiana Sentinels Hockey Network.
Vitamin water helps keep me hydrated. Encore. After encore. After encore. Next thing you know, it felt just like this. Come on. Vitamin water from New York.
How Bobby Price did not score on that opportunity is beyond all of us. He's going to be talking to himself for a while after that one. He had a wide open net.
Chris Kerr pushed back to his right and looked like he was able to get his right pad out. I'm not entirely sure if he was able to get a save on it or if it just went through his legs and out the other side, but no matter what, it should be 1-0 Prowlers, and somehow it is not.
Coincidental minor penalties are put on the board against Konovanov for Indiana and Blake Anderson of Port Huron. And it'll be a 4-on-4 with those two off. 15:31 is the time of the penalties. And it'll be a little bit of extra ice to work with for both teams. Even strength right now. Indiana's penalty kill, the Powerade penalty kill, has been successful when called upon here tonight. And the Sentinels have had some chances on the power play. They've moved the puck well, they've pressured, but they have not gotten the result that they've wanted, but they have created plenty of chances. The Sentinels were out shooting the Prowlers here 11-7. Oregon up left wing, putting it toward the front of the net beyond the reach of an oncoming Luke James. James now goes to get the puck and deals it back to center ice to Jamie Bucell. And he'll swing it back in behind his own net where it'll be taken by Price. Now, once again with it, Price looks for an opening. Tomacek slowing down the breakout. Prowlers do get it to center ice to Alex Johnson. Send it into the Indiana end. Terrain gets to it. Drops it off right wing side. Vlad Pavlov. He'll feed back to Terrain, who starts the breakout. Extra room to work. Good move to center by Terrain. Offside, though. A close play at the line. Tomacek trying to drag that last leg and stay onside, but close play, but unable to do so. And the clock stops off the offside call with 3:20 remaining here in period one.
Unfortunate there. He zigged when he should have zagged. He just kind of got caught in the same lane as Romeo Terrain. Didn't know which way to go and force the Sentinels offside. We'll get a draw just outside the Prowlers' end.
52 seconds to go on the coincidental minor penalties. Late here in period one. Better of the chances for the most part here tonight have belonged to Indiana. Although Bobby Price missed a wide open net a few minutes ago, what all likelihood should have given Port Huron a 1-0 lead. Puck in the Sentinels' end, the Prowlers' Parsons. Throws it in deep into the right one corner. Coming out of the corner with the puck, Lackney. He'll leave it for a trailing Brockway. He feeds it in behind the net. It rolls along the boards. Lockhart going after it. Taken to the boards by Pavlov. And over to get to the puck for Indiana, looking to clear and doing so. Out to center ice. Esposito after it as he took the feed from Colarusso and sends it down deep into the left wing corner of the Port Huron end. Coincidental minors are over. Teams back to full and even strength. With 2:25 to go in the first, Colarusso intercepts a pass through center for Port Huron, but then the Prowlers step in, get the puck back. Price into the Indiana end on the left wing side. Circles back toward the blue line, gets open in the slot. Still stick handling, double teaming, and stick handling through it and backhanding one wide of the Indiana net. Favaro with the left point. Throws it in behind the Indiana goal. Taking it right wing side, Bobby Price. Drops it back to the right point. With it there, Johnson. Throwing it back in behind that Sentinels goal. Price with it. Price through the right circle. Spun around, knocked down. A good hit there by Indiana's Bauer. Kept alive by Favaro and his shot. And Favaro has scored to give the Prowlers a 1-0 lead. And again, the Sentinels just having a hard time clearing the puck out of their own end.
First time that they've really gotten caught in their end in a little while here, and this is just a perfect shot from Favaro. He changes the angle at the last second. There's a stick in the lane of the Sentinels forward that's up, trying to get a stick on that to direct it out of play, and Favaro kind of pulls it in tight to his body and releases it, and a perfect shot going far side, kind of across the grain, up over the glove of Chris Kerr and into the back of the net. So really nice shot there from Nick Favaro, who's got his first goal in the last 12 games to make it 1-0.
And Favaro now with 11 on the season. And as a defenseman, they are skilled in those long-range scoring opportunities. And Favaro able to place that shot where he wanted to and get out of his goal-scoring slump. Puck brought by the Prowlers through center. It's rolling into the Indiana end. And there to get it, Darren Trebus. First game in a Sentinels uniform. Trebus slowed down as he attempts to clear, and the Prowlers get to the puck. Port Huron has been a team that has been able to score in bunches this year. Sentinels, Gormanis clears it through center down deep into the Port Huron end, and this will be an icing call against Indiana with 1 minute to go here in period number one. And one area the Sentinels have been conscious of and working to correct is giving up goals in short periods of time. That has been an issue for them all year long.
And with under 5 minutes to go in a period, we've talked about it before, it always hurts to give up a goal that late in a period, especially when you played so well in this period. So it's important to finish this next minute on a positive note. Clear this out of your own end and get a couple chances inside the Prowler territory.
Favaro with the goal, and the assists for Port Huron going to Reggie Millette and Bobby Price. The Sentinels send it down deep into the Port Huron end, not far enough for icing. Final minute of play of period number one. First period of Sentinels hockey brought to you by Sprague Hotel Developers. Bucell to the Sentinels line, coming in against Terrain, who's able to slow him down. Bucell banks it off the glass, picked up by Graham. He's double teamed, gets it toward the front of the net. Sentinels knock it away, and Tomacek with it. Taps it out to center ice. Brockway knocks it down at center. Shoots it back down deep into the far corner of the Indiana end. 21 seconds to go here in the first period. Port Huron on top 1-0 on the late goal by Favaro at 18-14. Prowlers get to it at center. Favaro shoots it down deep into the Indiana end. Kerr leaving it for Terrain. Over now to Maximus Merrick Tortorella. Spots a man open. Tomacek at center. Tries to deliver to Peavy. It went off his stick, and the Prowlers get to it, and time will run out here in period number one. And really a good period for the Sentinels. They find themselves down 1-0, but They did get some good chances when they had the man advantage. They pressured the outstanding goaltender in Reed Cooper early on in period number 1, made him make some big saves. And then when he was called upon tonight, Kerr, strong in period number 1 for Indiana. He faced 8 shots on goal in the first period. Indiana with 11 on the Prowlers goaltender, Reed Cooper. He's won 19 games this year in net for Port Huron. So shots in period number 1, Indiana 11, Port Huron 7. And we had 8 minutes in penalty time against each team in the first period. Neither team with a power play goal. That goal scored by Favaro was an even strength goal. Favaro with his 11th goal of the season from Reggie Millette and Bobby Price. And that is it as far as the scoring goes in period number 1. All of the penalties were minor penalties. And we did have a lot of intensity and a lot of enthusiasm displayed by both teams in period number 1 as the Sentinels try and break a 5-game losing streak against the Port Huron Prowlers. Overall, the Sentinels have dropped 4 straight, and they've lost the last 5 against Port Huron, so they're trying to come up with the effort tonight that will be capable of snapping both of those streaks. 3-game homestand for the Sentinels against the Prowlers concludes tomorrow, and we want to point out the time of the game. It was originally on the schedule as a 12:30 start, but it will be a 1:30 Eastern time start tomorrow. So plan on joining us at 1:15 Eastern time for the Body Armor pregame show, and face off at 1:30 tomorrow for Indiana and Port Huron, the final meeting of the regular season between the two teams here in this building. So tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern time for the face-off, 1:15 for the pregame show, and then the Sentinels will conclude this 6-game stretch against the Prowlers next weekend. 5-game stretch actually next weekend, 2 in Port Huron after the 3 here. Friday, March 6th, Saturday, March 7th at 7 o'clock from Port Huron's McMorran Place Arena. Next home games for the Sentinels are coming up on the weekend of the 13th, 14th, and 15th. The Topeka Scarecrows will be in town Friday the 13th at 7:30, Saturday the 14th at 7:30, and then a Sunday matinee game, and that will also be a 1:30 start that particular Sunday on Faith and Family Sunday, the 15th of March against the Topeka Scarecrows at 1:30. So 3 games coming up at home, and in reality now just 6 chances to see the Sentinels on home ice before the year is all done. The Sentinels will play a pair of what is considered home games, but they will be neutral site games on Friday, March 27th and Saturday, March 28th at Ralph Engelstad Arena in Thief River Falls, Minnesota. Neutral site game. Thief River Falls will be an expansion franchise in the FPHL next year. And the Sentinels and the Topeka Scarecrows will introduce the league to their fans in that building on Friday the 27th and Saturday the 28th of March. And again, the next home games Friday the 13th, Saturday the 14th, and Sunday the 15th against Topeka. And we'd like to remind you as well to get your season tickets for next year early for Sentinels hockey. A big discount available right now if you purchase before the 1st of May. Full season ticket plans and half season ticket plans are available. So 1 period in the books. The Sentinels, even though they're down 1-0 on the scoreboard, I think they're probably feeling better about themselves here tonight than they were last night when they were down 1-0 after 1.
Yeah, I was thinking just before the Prowlers had scored that goal that should this period end 0-0, this is a win for Indiana. I mean, they were outplaying Port Huron for a majority of that period, and that's just the mark of a really good team where they hem the Sentinels inside their own end for just a good period of time and are able to capitalize on it, find a way to get to the puck to the back of the net. So that's one of the things where, the Sentinels can kind of take a page out of their book and try to start hemming the Prowlers in their own end and find a way to beat Reed Cooper.
The first period of Sentinels hockey was brought to you by Sprague Hotel Developers. On the strength of a goal at 18-14 of period number 1, Nicholas Favaro scoring, the Prowlers lead it 1-0. We are back with the start of the second in just a bit from the Hamilton Community Ice Arena on the Indiana Sentinels Hockey Network.
His entire team, from the most simplistic things to the most complex, are phenomenal. They're informative, responsive, and something that's important to me, they're honest.
As a business owner myself, I know how important it is to protect your livelihood. I'm Scott Weatherford, owner of Richard Hawes Insurance. Give me a call today and we can chat about how an independent agent can save your business money.
What's in your decision to donate blood? More than you know. One donation can save lives and fuel research to save many more. A few moments of your time sparks moments like these. And these. Hope cures, empowers, and strengthens us. Hope is in all the moments that matter. And it's in all of us. Versity Blood Centers. Hope. It's in our blood.
Port Huron 1, Indiana nothing as we near the start of period number 2 here at the Hamilton Community Ice Arena in Columbus, Indiana. The Sentinels hoping to battle back from a 1-0 deficit. The lone goal came late in period number 1. And the goal getter for the Port Huron Prowlers, Nicholas Favaro. Assist going to Reggie Millette. And Bobby Price, an even strength goal at 18-14. And it has Port Huron on top 1-0. Goal number 11 on the season for Favaro. Chris Curran net tonight for Indiana. Second night in a row that we have seen him. And getting the call tonight for the Port Huron Prowlers, the man who's been their number 1 goaltender and arguably the top goaltender in the FPHL right now, Reed Cooper. Good size at 6'2", 195 pounds. Saskatchewan native has won 19 games this year. 19-8-1 is his record coming into tonight. And the Prowlers have won 5 straight over the Sentinels. Last time Indiana got a win against this team was 4-2 on the 13th of December in Port Huron. Since then, the Prowlers have reeled off 5 straight, the first 2 coming in overtime. New Year's Eve in this building, the only game played prior to this weekend series between the 2 teams here in Indiana. New Year's Eve, the Prowlers winning it 3-2 in overtime. Matt Graham with the overtime game winner. They followed that up with a 4-3 overtime win with Nicholas Favaro getting the OT game winner on January 2nd. And since then, it's been 3 consecutive lopsided victories in favor of the Prowlers. 5-1 on January 3rd, 5-1 again on January 24th, and 5-0 here last night. And these 2 teams will play each other 3 more times before the season is all done. Tomorrow at 1:30, and then Friday, March 6th, and Saturday, March 7th in Port Huron. And we'll take a look now at the other games going on around the Federal Prospects Hockey League on this Saturday night. And the Watertown Wolves, the team ahead of the Sentinels in the Empire Division, are trailing. They are tied. It is 2-2 in Twin City tonight. 2-2 between Watertown and Twin City in the 3rd period. Danbury playing in Binghamton tonight. And all the teams that face off against the Black Bears have basically been cannon fodder for that team. Last night, the Binghamton Black Bears ran their win streak up to 7 in a row, defeating Danbury 6-0. And it's a little closer tonight in Binghamton, 1-0. The Black Bears leading it in the 2nd period. Here, 1-0, the Prowlers on top of the Sentinels in the first intermission. In Blue Ridge tonight, the Bobcats and PD skate to a 0-0 tie at the end of 1 period. Biloxi tonight on home ice, trailing against Columbus 2-1, and that's in the first. And one other game, the Baton Rouge Zydeco have a 1-0 lead over the Topeka Scarecrows, and that is in the first period in Topeka tonight, and that is the latest on the FPHL out-of-town scoreboard. Binghamton has won 7 straight. They are the hottest team in the league right now. 30-point lead, 34-point lead for first place in the Empire Division over Port Huron. The Prowlers have won 4 in a row. They're 8-1-1 in their last 10. And the Prowlers start the night leading 3rd place Blue Ridge by 9 points in the standings. And the Blue Ridge Bobcats are not going down without a fight.
No, not at all.
7-1-2 in their last 10. So it's going to be fun to watch the race for positioning for the playoffs in the Empire Division as we head through the remainder of the inaugural season for the Sentinels in the league. PD Ice Cats, they've won 3 in a row. They're 7-3-0 in their last 10. Columbus River Dragons, still red hot. They're 8-1-1 in their last 10 games. Right now in the Continental Division, you've got Monroe leading a very tight race, 89 points for the Moccasins through 40 games played. Athens Rock Lobsters second with 87 points. They do have 1 game in hand on Monroe. They played 39 games to Monroe's 40. And Columbus in the number 3 spot right now, 82 points. They have played more games than the other 2 teams. They have played 43. And in the battle for the final playoff spot in the Continental Division, PD holds that spot right now. 56 points with 40 games played. Twin Cities 4 points behind, 52 points through 38 games played. So the Twin City Thunderbirds certainly know they have an opportunity to battle their way into a playoff spot. Binghamton running away with the Empire, 109 points. Port Huron with 75. Blue Ridge third with 66. Topeka fourth with 65. And you've got Danbury still on the outside looking in, but a shot at them to try and catch Topeka for a playoff spot with 53 points. Watertown with 51 points in the number 6 spot right now, and the Sentinels with 29 points in the number 7 spot. And the team that is below the Sentinels in the overall league standings continues to really struggle. The the Biloxi Breakers have lost 14 in a row heading into their action tonight. Ready to start period number 2. I'm Jim Mirabello along with Andy Petziger. The second period of Sentinels hockey is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Sentinels attack right to left here in the second period. Jonas Leas against Decumbus on the face-off, and the Sentinels control is played back to Maximus Merrick Tortorella in his own end. Tortorella normally a forward, but playing defense here tonight. Loose puck, Leas knocks it through center down deep into the Port Huron end. Rolls around to the near wing. Tortorella after it. A quick shot right on net, and the stop is made. Zinchenko then giving some shoves, and with the stick from Ben Brockway in front of the net. As Zinchenko is in front, coasting around, trying to create some confusion, catch a deflection or a rebound off that quick release of the shot from the near boards by Maximus Merrick Tortorella.
Zinchenko and Brockway continuing their altercation that started out in the first period, so that's only going to continue to build. And right there is what you wanted to see from Maximus Merrick Tortorella on the defense, is getting control of that puck in the offensive zone, waiting for some bodies to get to the net and throw that puck on goal. It's a good stop there from Reed Cooper.
Formanis, Anderson, and Bauer out here now for Indiana. Prowlers up with the puck. Here's Millette at center ice. He's got Graham trailing the play. Looked as if it was offside from our angle, but play continues. Puck held in by Favaro, right point. His shot goes off Colaruso's stick in front and wide of the Indiana goal. And the Sentinels gain possession. Here's Bauer. Ahead on the right wing side to Bormanis. Coming in against defensively for Port Huron, Johnson, who's able to get a piece of that shot. Colaruso keeps the puck in the Port Huron end. Feeds it to Bormanis along the left wing boards. He's squeezed to the hardwood in the corner by Johnson. And the Prowlers come up with possession of the puck, leading it 1-0 here early in period number 2. Loose at center ice. Brought forward now by Lackney into the Indiana end. Lucas Lackney with a drop pass to Millette. His shot, and the stop made by Kerr. As Millette challenged him from the left wing circle. Prowlers keep the pressure on in the Indiana end. In from the left point, feeding it in deep is Organ. Timothy Organ rolling it along the right wing boards, taken by Lockhart. Out along the blue line, shoots it in deep into the right wing corner. Luke James is after it there. Looking to center. James spun around, puck knocked away by Peavy, and out to center ice it goes. Peavy back up front here tonight after playing defense the last couple of nights. Prowlers now offside of the Indiana blue line. Terrain spun around, knocked down.
We're going to get a power play here. Romeo Terrain drawing a penalty. Good hard work, stepping up in the neutral zone, and he got taken down by Luke James, and that's a really good job by Romeo Terrain. 3 hard-working plays that lead to power plays for the Indiana Sentinels.
And Terrain was just about to get the motor going from the blue line when James hooked him, and so he'll head to the box, and this will be a Haas Insurance power play chance for Indiana. And the streak continuing. Now would be a great time to bring it to a close. Prowlers off the face-off, have the puck and shoot it all the way down deep into the Indiana end. Indiana has moved the puck well, pressured quite extensively on their previous power play chances tonight. Sentinels with it. Anderson through center up left wing, puts on the brakes along the near boards. Double team, trying to go to Colosso, but he fed it between the point men, Colaruso and Pavlov, and Pavlov back for the puck. Will start the rest the other way. Hits Colaruso with a pass on the right wing side. Colaruso sends it in deep into the right wing corner. Jonas Leas giving chase. 1:22 to go on the power play, and the Prowlers come up with a loose puck. And they'll clear it. It short hops Kurd. The clearing attempt does right on net. He's able to handle it and leave it for Vladdy Pavlov in behind the net.
Important to note that Ivan Panovanov is in the penalty box here.
Here's a feed to Bauer. He's got a step toward the net. His shot is denied by Cooper. If Bauer could have got some lift on that, he would have tied the game. Millette with a puck in his own end now, and he'll clear. Bauer with a great chance at his first pro goal right there. Tomacek up left wing. Tomacek trying to feed it in front, blocked by Favaro. Loose puck far side, Port Huron in. Tomacek battles to keep it alive in the right wing corner. Peavy in there as well. Tomacek digs it free. Steps off the boards and shoots, and it's turned aside by Cooper. Tomacek with it again. Drops it in deep to Bauer. Out to Tomacek, right wing boards. Cross-ice feed beyond Stoichevsky. It rolls in behind the net. Peavy battles to keep it alive. Frees it up for Tomacek. Room to work, right wing boards. 19 seconds on the power play. Pass to Pavlov, and he'll leave it now for Stoichevsky coming down left wing. Stoichevsky in front. Tomacek shooting, and that's deflected on the way to the net. Favaro got his stick on it, and the Prowlers clear. Racing back to get it is Pavlov in his own end. And the penalty will expire as Pavlov has run hard into the boards in behind the net by Parsons. Sentinels get the puck to center. Esposito frees it up on the right wing side, and it'll be an offside play as Esposito got ahead of the play with Bradburn trying to bring the puck in. But what a great chance a moment ago for Brendan Bauer of Indiana. 6'2", 188-pound forward rookie out of Waterloo, Ontario. One of the three brought in from Davenport University, and could not get that puck up over top of Cooper.
What an outlet pass from Vlad Pavlov from behind the net as well. I mean, that was a rocket, 140 feet from the goal line to the blue line here right in front of us, and it was almost knocked out of midair about ankle high by Bauer. He was able to settle it down and get in over the blue line and make a beautiful move. He got the goaltender down, did everything right, but like you said, just couldn't get any elevation on that puck.
Always exciting to see when a rookie gets his first pro goal, and we nearly had it right there for Brendan Bauer. Sentinels try and keep the puck in the Prowler end off the face-off. As we return to even strength, the Prowlers having a little trouble clearing it. Cooper settles it down alongside the net, left it for Brockway just out of the box, and he'll clear it out to center ice, taken by Lockhart on the move up left wing. Zinchenko back defensively to slow him down. We've got coincidental minor penalties handed out here. We'll get to that in a moment. Here's Zinchenko, room to work. Zinchenko in front, Lias, backhander scores! Bo Zinchenko sets up Jonas Lias coming down the right wing side, and Lias with a backhander evens this game at 1-1 with his 5th of the year.
Well, Jonas Lias, who hadn't scored since in his last 13 games, his last goal was against these Prowlers in early January. Able to get one here. A beautiful setup by Bo Zinchenko. Goes forehand, backhand, and just able to get enough elevation on that up over the pad of Reed Cooper and into the back of the net. We're all tied up at 1.
And that brings this big crowd to life on this Saturday night here at the Hamilton Community Ice Arena. The goal comes when each team was shorthanded by a man with the coincidental minor penalties that were handed out. The coincidental minors were dished out, creating the 4-on-4 scenario. And you've got two guys that have some puck handling and offensive skills combining.
So I saw that they had called, going back to the penalties, I saw that they had called a tripping on Esposito. I don't know what the call was on Jamie Bussell, but I'm wondering if it was a diving call on Bussell.
It could have been. We're waiting for it to come up on the official sheet here, hopefully in a moment. But the goal scored by Jonas Lias is the big news right now, tying this game at 1, set up by Bo Zinchenko. And the Sentinels getting the crowd into the game now. They'll be looking for the go-ahead goal. They've got some pressure on the Port Huron end on the right wing side, trying to keep that play alive. Peter Stoichevsky. But the Prowlers come away with possession of it. And they'll bring it out to center ice, handled and taking up the right wing side into the Indiana end. Price getting it in front to Millette. And his shot, and that caroms up and out of play to stop the action here with 5 minutes and 4 seconds gone in period number 2. So Indiana getting the huge goal to tie the game up here early in the second period. And that goal was a beauty, too.
Absolutely. Jonas Lees going forehand, backhand. Just able to get it past Reed Cooper.
Tied at 1, 14:56 to go, second period here on the Sentinels Hockey Network. Face off in the right wing circle of the Indiana end, and the Sentinels come away with a puck off the draw. Terrain able to leave it on the left wing side for Tortorella, who brings it out to center. Maximus Merrick Tortorella for Indiana, unable to play it in deep. And the Prowlers have possession. Here's DeCumbus up right wing, Indiana end. DeCumbus stops in the right wing circle, centers, knocked away by Tomacek, kept alive by Millette on the right wing side. Reggie Millette slowed down from behind by Tomacek, who brings that puck out to center. He's got some room up left wing. Tomacek fans on his shot and is rubbed off the puck in the left wing circle. Tries to get it back and put it toward the front of the net. But there to clear is Johnson of Port Huron. 13 seconds left on the coincidental minor penalties. Millette comes into the Indiana end. He gets some room in the high slot. Leaves it for Favaro at the center point. Sidesteps a check from Peavy. Favaro takes it in deep on the left wing side. Jonas Lee slows him down. Left wing corner now. James after it for Port Huron. James hit by Tortorella, and off the puck he goes. Tortorella comes away with a good work in the defensive end by Tortorella. And then Esposito hustling to get to a loose puck. Knock it out to center ice to Lees. Tries to feed back to Tortorella. Two Prowlers back, and they break that play up and clear it out to center. Coincidental minor penalties are over as Pavlov throws it into the Prowler end. Knocked down and hit Lockhart. Sent out to center ice now to Alexander Ray. Knocked away from him. And for Indiana, Formanis, and a whistle. And play stops right in front of the Indiana bench. I believe the puck hopped out of the playing surface area. And we've got 13:33 remaining here in period number 2. Shots right now 13-10. Indiana leading. Game tied at 1. Nicholas Favaro in the first period for Port Huron, and Jonas Lees in the second for Indiana. Sentinels control from the faceoff. Here's Pavlov at center. Shoots it into the Prowler end toward the net. Knocked down on the glove side of Cooper. And he'll hang on to it and get a play stoppage. With 13:24 now to go here in period number 2.
Want to give a quick shout out. We've got Chris Morrison from Theo's Brunch Fest out here today serving out some burgers, and they are delicious. So big shout out to Theo. That was one of the better burgers I've had.
Yeah, you managed to get that down pretty quickly. Yeah. We can eat and talk sometimes. Here come the Prowlers now into the Indiana end down the left wing side. A centering attempt by Lackney. Broken up. Puck bouncing into the right wing corner, Indiana territory. Sentinels unable to clear. Parsons keeps it in. Drives it in deep. Connor Bazal in behind the net. Bazal handing it now to Matt Graham. Pressuring him, Pavlov. Puck knocked free. Bormanis for Indiana with it. Outlets to center ice, Bauer. Here he comes up right wing. And a whistle, and I believe a puck played up over the glass and out of play here with 12:41 remaining in this second period. As we remain tied at 1 here at the Hamilton Community Ice Arena. And that'll bring about a face-off in the right wing circle of the Prowlers' end. Glove side of Reed.
I like what the Sentinels have done here in this second period. Didn't let that late goal in the first deter them. Kept on pushing, and they've been rewarded with it here, tying it up at 1 apiece.
Radburn on the left wing side. Stoichenko at center. And Bo Zinchenko over on the right wing side for Indiana. Peter Stoichevsky centering this line. Zinchenko on the right. Radburn on the left. And the Prowlers come away with a puck from the draw. Favaro. Outlet feed on the left wing side. Taken and shot in deep by DeCumbus in behind the Indiana net. It comes off the boards toward the front of the net. Dangerous there, but cleared by Zinchenko out to center ice. And the Prowlers with it again, regrouping at center. Alex Johnson at his own blue line. Works it ahead to Favaro. Dropping it off to DeCumbus. Bringing it into the attack zone. Zinchenko back though to knock the puck away. Clear it along the right wing boards. And out to center ice. Here in period number 2 with 11:49 remaining in it. Terrain in his own zone now for Indiana. Outlet feed. Hits Peavy. He settles the puck down. Leaves it for Panovanov, who shoots it in deep into Port Huron territory. It rolls in behind the Prowler net, and the Port Huron net gets dislodged. And that'll stop play here with 13:38 left in the second period. Good, intense hockey game tonight between the Sentinels and the Port Huron Prowlers. And they'll reset that net in behind goaltender Reed Cooper.
Something that the Sentinels have changed in this hockey game is the neutral zone. They're clogging it up a little bit more. Typically, you see it set up where you've got one forward up top, 2 forwards behind him at the red line, and then the 2 defensemen behind them at the Sentinels blue line. But today, they've got 2 forwards up top around the in between the blue line and the red line, and 3 guys back, 1 forward and 2 defensemen back by their own blue line, which is really clogging up the neutral zone for the Prowlers and not making it as easy for them to gain entry into the Sentinel zone.
Prowlers with it at center ice, and it is Lucas Lackney shooting it into the Indiana end. Pavlov back for it. 2 men converge. Puck knocked away. Stationed in front. Colasso trying to clear, and a scramble in front of him. Stop made by Kerr, and he hangs on to it. So the Sentinels a little bit sloppy in their own end, and fortunately able to survive that turnover as Kerr stops the puck, and the faceoff will be in the Indiana end. So it was an embellishment off the trip, as you suspected, with the call, the tripping minor that was handed out to Esposito, and then the embellishment call going against Jamie Bussell. So that was what created the 4-on-4 that set up the opportunity for the tying goal. Those penalties came at 3:55, and then the goal at 4:25 as the Sentinels clear it through center and down deep into the Port Huron end. Chasing it after it on the right wing side of Anderson, but the Prowlers chop it out to center ice. Panovanov stepping over center red. Wrist one from long range. Cooper stops it, was going to set it down, but thought better of it and hangs on to it in the glove to get a stoppage here with 10:51 to go in period 2.
I know we've got a travel team that's in the stands tonight that plays out here, the Columbus Flames, but any other young hockey players that are watching, that seems like it was a bit of a nothing play, that was very important. A long shot from outside the blue line. Sentinels driving to the net, stopped Reed Cooper from playing that puck. They get an offensive zone draw out of it.
Puck cleared by the Prowlers out through center, and then Panovanov rifles it the other way, right back down deep into the Prowler end. Cooper handles it and tries to clear, hustling over. Tortorella keeps it alive. Grab behind the net, centering attempt in front, put right on goal by Bauer, and stopped by Cooper on a good effort by Christers Bormanis from behind the net to set up Bauer right on the doorstep. And he's denied again by Reed Cooper with 10:31 to go here in period 2.
You can see why Bauer led the Davenport Panthers in both goals and points this season. He's always in the right areas, and the puck seems to find him. He's gotten quite a few chances this weekend and hasn't found a way to bury him just yet, but I'm sure once he gets a couple games under his belt, he'll be able to find the back of the net.
And Bauer brings the Sentinels pretty good size up front. 6'2", 188 is what he's listed out on the roster. Good height, good reach in front of the net. Prowlers play the puck in behind the Indiana goal. They try and center, but Leafs right there to intercept. Jonas Leafs ahead to Bozinchenko, turns on the speed, shoots from the left wing side. Right on net, and the stop is made by Cooper. He caught that one right in his chest as he had dropped down to the butterfly. Squared to Zinchenko and makes the save to keep the game tied at 1. As we approach the midway point of period number 2.
Zinchenko showcasing that speed coming down the wing here. Able to throw a shot on net. Trying to go upstairs on Reed Cooper. He's sitting at 6'2", 195. Good luck trying to beat him upstairs. That's a pretty big guy in net.
He does not give you much to shoot at all. Draw one by the Sentinels. Pavlov will take it from the left point and shoot it in behind the net. Prowlers gain possession. Far side of his own end, it is Connor Bazal. Clearing it out to center ice. Bussell trying to find the handle. He's slowed down by terrain. Bussell will steer it back into his own end now to Timothy Organ, who plays catch with Lockhart, who delivers back to Organ, and he'll shoot it off the far boards down deep into the Indiana end. Rolling behind the Sentinels net. Peavy back. And behind the net, jamming the Prowlers up. They get it to Lockhart from the right point. A long shot sails wide of the net. Just barely then kept in along the left point by Organ. Sentinels challenge him, and they clear it away through center and back into Port Huron territory. Lackney in his own end. Lackney outlets on right wing to Bazal. Over the Sentinel line on right wing. Steps in toward the net. Backhands one. Did not get good wood on it. Had his stick tied up as he did. And the Sentinels come away with possession. Played to center to Pavlov. 1-on-2. Over the line on left wing. Has a man trailing, and that is taken and fired high and wide of the net by Bormanis. Good execution there, and the Sentinels spotting Bormanis open. And just off target as he tried to beat Cooper up high. Puck in deep. Port Huron territory. Favaro clears it out through center, and it deflects high in the air and up into the Port Huron bench area and out of play with 8:44 left here in the second. Sentinels out shooting the Prowlers 17-12 in a very good, entertaining hockey game tonight.
Vitamin water helps keep me hydrated. Encore. After encore. After encore. Next thing you know, it felt just like this. Come on. Vitamin water from New York.
Same two teams tomorrow afternoon, 1:30 Eastern time for the face-off, 1:15 for the Body Armor pregame show. And after that puck had gone out of play, they'll face it off at center ice. Jonas Leafs, the hero so far tonight with the tying goal. We'll take the draw for Indiana against Vincent DeCumbus. Bowers on the left side, Zinchenko on the right. Back defensively, Richard Colarusso. For Indiana, and paired up with Ivan Panovanov. The Prowlers with it at center, shot long by Timothy Organ, down deep into the far corner of the Indiana end. Sentinels waste no time, they'll clear it through center, deep into Port Huron territory, and this will result in an icing call against Indiana with 18:19 to go. Second period, even at 1. Shots, Indiana 17, Port Huron 12. And things have settled down as far as the penalties go here in period 2. We've only had the coincidental minors that were handed out at 3:55. 8 minutes in penalty time to each team in the first period. And both goals, even strength goals. Puck in deep, right wing side, Sentinels territory. Prowlers come up with it, circling the net, centering it from the left wing side. It was cleared away from the front of the net at the last second after Mazal put it on the doorstep. Loose in the right wing corner, Indiana territory, kept alive by Price near boards. He's slowed down by Indiana's Richard Colarusso on the near side. Colarusso trying to play that puck out. It comes into the slot. Panovanov there gets it out of danger. Grabbed by Zinchenko at center. Zinchenko settling it down, leaving it for Colarusso. To the line on left wing and sweeping it in deep and behind the net. Puck off the boards. Bauer for Indiana. Puts it toward the front of the net, and it'll be grabbed and almost mishandled by Johnson, but he's able to settle it down. With 7.5 to go here in the second period. Sentinels trying to keep the Prowlers hemmed in, and so far they do. Stoichevsky able to get it in deep. Now the Prowlers clear it. Zinchenko hits his man at center. Puck played into the Indiana end. Favaro, a shot from the right side up high on Kerr, and he makes the stop. And the Sentinels with control of the loose puck in their own end. Outlet feed to Stoichevsky at center. Across to Anderson, 2-on-2. Back to Stoichevsky. Shot just wide of the net, low to the ice. On the glove side of Cooper. Kept alive by Merrick Tortorella. Maximus Merrick Tortorella. A shot goes high and wide of the net. On Cooper's glove hand side, and the carom off the boards. The Prowlers have it. And they'll bring it out to center ice. Slowed down, knocked down at center. There's Connor Bazal. Recovering, though. Shooting it in deep is Favaro, and he'll head to the bench now. And as the puck comes in around the net and a couple of Prowlers coasting in close by, Kerr hangs on to it to stop the clock now with 6:42 remaining in the second period of a 1-1 game. Second period of Sentinels hockey brought to you by Coca-Cola.
Good opportunity a moment ago for the Indiana Sentinels with Peter Stoichevsky as the trigger man. He knew he had Dalton Anderson heading to the net, so tried to throw that low to the ice as a shot pass. Tried to hit the stick of Dalton Anderson, but was just a little bit out of his reach.
Sentinels play it through center. Icing waved off. Prowlers could have played the puck. Puck in deep, Port Huron territory. Having a hard time on the clear. Bucell. Sentinels forecheck. Puck dug free by Peavy. Feeds Pavlov right point. Long shot save. Rebound Esposito. And he's denied from right on the doorstep. Esposito had a great chance there. Hanavano left point. A shot high and wide of the net. And grabbing it and clearing it now is Luke James. Tries to, attempting to hold it in, is Tomacek. He is hit and knocked down by Fort Huron's Bazal, and the Prowlers have possession of it now with 5:56 to go in the second period of a 1-1 game. Out to center comes Parsons. Shoots it in deep and behind the Indiana net. Pavlov after it. Price hustling in. Tries to get to it. It rolls free. Zinchenko alertly hustles back to grab it, and he'll settle it down on his own end. Zinchenko for Indiana, who set up Jonas Leafs on the tying goal. Takes the pass at center, up right wing. Leafs cutting toward the net. Zinchenko loses the edge on his skates, and that'll enable Price to get to the puck, bring it to the Indiana line, leaving it for Anderson left circle, challenging him defensively. Bauer prevents him from getting a good shot off, and then Panovanov comes up with the puck, flips it through the air deep into the Prowlers' end, and it'll be an icing call against Indiana with 5:15 to go. But you just see the Sentinels attacking things with a little bit more urgency in the defensive end, getting to loose pucks and wasting no time in clearing.
That's a really good play there by a young hockey player in this league, Brendan Bauer, getting stick on puck there and not getting fooled by any of the shimmy shakes by Blake Anderson. And Panovanov was short of center when he dumped that puck in. Knew he made a mistake as soon as he let that go off of his stick.
Prowlers from the face-off. Johnson able to send it deep into the right wing corner of the Indiana end. Chasing after it there is Matt Graham. Player coach for Port Huron trying to center, intercepted by Bauer. And he leaves it for Zinchenko. Comes through center, long-range shot, low to the ice. Trying to get a little knuckleball bouncer on Cooper, who stops it, and then Parsons has some words along the right wing side in the Port Huron end. The linesmen step in as Parsons and Bauer We're having a conversation. Things will settle down here with 4:55 to go in period 2. And we remain tied at 1 here at the Hamilton Community Ice Arena. The Prowlers and the Sentinels on the Indiana Sentinels Hockey Network.
What's in your decision to donate blood? More than you know. One donation can save lives and fuel research to save many more. A few moments of your time sparks moments like these. And these. Hope cures, empowers, and strengthens us. Hope is in all the moments that matter. And it's in all of us. Versity Blood Centers. Hope. It's in our blood.
The Sentinels are out shooting the Prowlers 19-14 as we get set to go back to play. Indiana with the edge of the shots in the first, 11-8 and 8-6 here in the second. Anderson on the faceoff, left circle for Huron end. Prowlers come away with a puck. Millette sends it to center ice to Lackney. Shoots it into the near corner of the Indiana end. Millette giving chase there. Millette off the boards with the puck. Stepping back toward the blue line, then shoots from long range. A big pileup in front. It's stopped by Kerr. Loose Sentinels able to get to it. Cleared along by Bormanis to center. Stoichevsky after it. 2 men back, and they knock it away from him. And Millette will settle it down and skate it back behind his own net. Pressure applied by Bormanis on the right wing side. Puck free, kept alive by Anderson. Leaves it right wing, taken there. Stoichevsky is shot, deflects, and goes up over the glass and out of play. Stopping the action now with 4:15 remaining in the second period.
So I've seen at least 3 or 4 Port Huron Prowler players break their stick in today's game, and it just reminds me of a quick story back in the 80s when Dennis Savard was still on the Blackhawks. Somebody had sawed his stick about 3/4 of the way through, just enough so you wouldn't be able to see it, right above where the tape was, and he went through 4 different sticks in that game. Couldn't figure out what was going on. So kind of makes me think if something's going on that Prowler's bench, a couple pranks being played.
And as expensive as those sticks
Oh
are
my God.
nowadays, with that graphite and composite material, not quite like those old Sherwoods in the old days. Prowlers with the puck now as the Sentinels clear to center ice. Shot by Oregon in deep, Indiana territory, delayed offside. Sentinels with the puck. Maximus Merrick Tortorella in his own territory. Directs it out to center ice. He's Ethan Esposito. Has it there. Cross ice feed at center ed to Tortorella. And he'll leave it now for Tomacek outside the Port Huron blue line. Unable to get it in deep, but now Tortorella does. Hammers it in behind the net into the near corner. And after it, Tomacek. Good work on the forecheck for Indiana's Tomacek, keeping that play alive. Left wing side in a big battle along the near boards with Lockhart. Now Zinchenko in to help out for Indiana. With the puck taken by Bobby Price of Port Huron, and he'll bring it out to center. Hit by Ponomarev as he backhands it into Indiana territory and behind the Sentinels' net. Sentinels try and clear, kept in. Left point, fired in deep by Johnson. Comes off the boards behind the Indiana net. And Ponomarev has it and clears it out to center ice. Play whistled down. A hand pass is called to stop play with 2:56 to go. In the second period, only goal of the second belongs to the Sentinels. It came at 4:25. Jonas Lees set up nicely by Bo Zinchenko. It came with each team shorthanded by a man off coincidental minors. Only first period goal, 18-14, scored by Nicholas Favaro. Assist going to Reggie Millette and Bobby Price. It's been a goaltender's duel here tonight between Kerr and Reed Cooper. Each has surrendered just one. almost to the end of period 2. 2:36 remains in it as the Sentinels clear it to center. Puck rolling back into the Port Huron end. Favaro springs it at center ice to Bizot, and he'll play it into the Indiana end. Millette after it, and a good hustle by Terrain to get there before him. Puck cleared, goes up out of play, bounces back onto the ice surface, but the whistle halts the action now with 2:23 remaining in the second period.
Want to hunker down here for the Indiana Sentinels. Don't need to be giving up any more late period goals, especially since you had played so well in this period and gotten to a point where you've tied things up. Don't want to give any of that momentum back to Port Huron.
At a time in the game where a goal is a big momentum swing. Face off, left wing circle, Sentinels end, stick side of Kerr. Anderson for Indiana to take the draw. Anderson standing in against DeCumbus, and the Prowlers have it on the face-off. Shot carries wide of the Indiana net. Puck bouncing right wing side. Prowlers get to it out of the right wing corner. It's Alex Price, or Bobby Price rather. Price along the right wing side. Stick handles along the goal line. Puts it in front and just beyond the reach of everyone in front of the net. Prowlers keep the play alive. Snapped in deep by Brockway in behind the Indiana net. Loose puck. Panovanov wasn't sure where it was for a second, and the Prowlers get to it. Right wing side, a long shot wide of the Indiana net on the long one fired by Parsons from just inside the blue line. Panovanov after it. Settles it down for Bormanis. Outlets to center ice to Stoichevsky. Delayed offside of the Port Huron line. Prowlers come away with the puck. 1:33 to go in the second. Parsons over the Indiana line. Leaves it for trailing Anderson. Back to Parsons in with a backhander. He scores. Port Huron gets that goal that we were just talking about, one late in the period with 1:28 to go, and the Prowlers are on top 2-1.
Sentinels defense caught out there on a long change. You see Panovanov bent over, double, he and Colarusso. Caught out there for a long time, and in the period of the long change, very difficult for the defense to be able to find a good time to get off the ice. They get caught out there a little bit. And a opportunity from in tight for Port Huron squeaks in between the legs of Chris Kerr, and it's 2-1.
So the Prowlers have the edge here on that goal at 18:32 off period number 2. And Brian Parsons able to finish the play, get just his third goal of the season, a defenseman. And give him credit. Not known for his goal-scoring prowess, but comes up with a key one there in tight, getting it between the pads. Off Kerr.
Everett.
2-1 lead, and as you said, Everett's in the conversation right now.
He was standing up on the bench as soon as that puck had gone in the back, and then even before the puck had gone into the back of the net, talking about how Port Huron had too many men on the ice. I wasn't able to see that myself, but it is going to stand as a good goal, and Port Huron up 2-1.
Everett in a conversation with referee Paul Jean. Now, Paul Jean is over at the Port Huron bench and having a conversation with Chris Paulin, their associate head coach. And we will go back to play. So Port Huron on top. Paul Jean, Chris Rowe, the referees tonight. Jeremy McWalter, Brian Thurnauer, the linesman. They've not had to call many penalties here in the second period. Just coincidental minors back at 3:55 of this period. And the Prowlers Bucell as they win the draw at center to resume play. Bucell brings it into the Indiana end, sends one wide of the Sentinel net on the right wing side. Lockhart keeping the play alive. This is an important point of the game right now. The Sentinels can't afford to give up another one late here in period number 2 after they played so well here tonight. Prowlers pressuring from the center point, a long shot blocked as it was fired from long range by Oregon. Sentinels clear it through center. Bauer gives chase on right wing. Gets to it in the right wing corner. Tries to deliver to Maximus Merrick Tortorella. He's unable to come up with it though. 50 seconds to go in the period, and the Prowlers from their own end gain possession of the puck. Parsons comes to center ice, feeds Bucell on right wing. Bucell coming in against Pavlov, gets by him and then sends one wide of the Indiana net. And it caroms off the glass and out of play. And you can just sense that the Prowlers know that Indiana is a team that is prone to give up goals in bunches this year. And after taking the lead, trying to add to it here late in the second.
Jamie Bussell with a goal last night. He's only got 5 goals on the year, 3 of them coming against the Indiana Sentinels. So he's certainly circles the schedule whenever he sees Indiana coming up.
And he'll be happy because there are 3 more coming up tomorrow afternoon and then 2 next weekend in Port Huron. And the puck loose, Indiana territory. The Sentinels with possession of it. It is cleared out to center ice by Panovanov down deep into the Port Huron end. Parsons is back to get it. Parsons clears it along the near wing and out to center ice. Wormanis back for Indiana, lost the handle on it in his own end to Millette, and his shot blocked. And Indiana able to gain control of Wormanis. Out to center ice as the horn sounds to end period number 2. And the Sentinels find themselves down a goal here after 40 minutes in a game that they had trailed 1-0. Got a beautiful tying goal from Jonas Lease at 4:25 of the second, and then see the Prowlers go back on top at 18:32. And after a little bit of a conversation of a heated variety, the 2 teams are heading off to their respective dressing rooms here after period number 2 comes to a close. And the Sentinels through 2 periods are out shooting the Port Huron Prowlers 19-16, but Port Huron with that late second period goal able to take the 2-1 lead over Indiana. And right now they have credited the goal to Brian Parsons. The go-ahead goal, Parsons with it. And the assist going to Port Huron's Alexander Ray and Connor Bizal. Even strength goal at 18:32 to Port Huron on top 1-0. So the teams trade goals in period 2. The only goal scored in the first came late in period number 1, 18-14. Nick Favaro scoring, assist going to Reggie Millette and Bobby Price, that at 18-14. 1-0 Prowlers after 1. Sentinels tie it early in the second at 4:25. Zinchenko sets up Jonas Lease. And Jonas getting the goal, his 5th of the year that ties the game. The lone assist on the goal, Bo Zinchenko. Pretty goal it was. Zinchenko setting up Lease, scoring on the backhand, even strength to even it at 1. And then the Prowlers jumping back on top at 18:32. Brian Parsons with a goal. And assists Alexander Ray and Connor Bizal. And Andy, you had mentioned it, and those goals that come late in periods. Port Huron's first one at 18:14 of the first, and their second at 18:32 of period 2.
Well, and I mentioned it in the second period. Give credit to the Indiana Sentinels for coming out in the second period and still continuing the momentum that they had built in that first period. They didn't let that late goal deter them. Let's hope that they could do the same thing coming out for the third period of play. It did seem like they had run out of gas a little bit in the final 2 minutes or so in that second period. Got caught out on a couple of pretty long shifts. And there was one more chance at the very end of that period. A little give and go play as Matt Graham was going to the net. And Romeo Terrain with a bit of a silent defensive play got his stick in the lane on that pass. That could have been a tap-in for Matt Graham and a 2-goal lead for the Port Huron Prowlers going into the third period. So a huge play by number 90 in blue.
In the second period, just 2 minor penalties handed out. Coincidental minors at 3:55 of the second period, and that created that 4-on-4 and some extra ice to work with for the Sentinels to get the tying goal. 8 minutes in penalty time to each team in period number 1. And we saw something tonight that you don't see often, and that was Indiana starting the game shorthanded for a bench minor for a warm-up violation. So right behind the 8 ball to start, the Sentinels were able to successfully kill that off. They outshot the Prowlers 11-8 in the first period, and the game was scoreless until the goal scored by Favaro at 18-14 off period 1. So we've got a third period coming up that should be fun to watch. The Sentinels very much in this game. They trailed 3-0 last night going to the third, down just by 1 here tonight.
They played very well today, and I mentioned it. They've done a nice job in the neutral zone. Haven't made it very easy for Port Huron to get into Sentinels territory. Once we get into the offensive zone, we'd like to see them get set up a little bit more, try to generate a little bit of movement inside the offensive zone, get Port Huron a little bit out of position, try to penetrate the middle of the ice, get some shots from in between the hash marks.
Second period of Sentinels hockey brought to you by Coca-Cola. We will be along with the third period here in just a bit. After 40 minutes, the Prowlers 2, the Sentinels 1 on the Indiana Sentinels Hockey Network.
Scott and his entire team, from the most simplistic things to the most complex, are phenomenal. They're informative, responsive, and something that's important to me, they're honest.
As a business owner myself, I know how important it is to protect your livelihood. I'm Scott Weatherford, owner of Richard Hawes Insurance. Give me a call today and we can chat about how an independent agent can save your business money.
What's in your decision to donate blood? More than you know. One donation can save lives and fuel research to save many more. A few moments of your time sparks moments like these. And these. Hope cures, empowers, and strengthens us. Hope is in all the moments that matter. And it's in all of us. Versity Blood Centers. Hope. It's in our blood.
Indiana trails Port Huron 2-1 as we near the start of the third period at the Hamilton Community Ice Arena. Sentinels 7 wins, 26 losses, 4 overtime losses, no overtime wins, 2 shootout wins, 29 points to start the night in 7th in the Empire Division and 13th overall. Port Huron 22 wins in regulation time and 13 regulation time losses, 1 overtime loss, 3 overtime wins, 1 shootout win, 75 points, 2nd in the Empire Division and 5th overall in the FPHL standings. The Prowlers are on a win streak right now of 4 games. They're 8-1-1 in their last 10. The Sentinels have dropped their last 4, 3-7-0 in their last 10. They have dropped 4, make that 5 straight to the Port Huron Prowlers, a 5-game losing streak to this team from the north. First 2 losses in the streak were overtime games, and then the Prowlers winning the next 3 in a row handily. But the Sentinels are giving them quite a battle here tonight, and Indiana has gotten a big boost with the return to the lineup of Bo Zinchenko and Maximus Merrick Tortorella. Neither player was in the lineup last night. Both have been sidelined with illnesses, but they return to action tonight, and Zinchenko assists on the tying goal for Indiana, scored by Jonas Lease early in period 2, the goal coming at 4:25. Lease from Zinchenko to tie the game at 4:25. The Sentinels also added a new player, Darren Trebus, to the lineup tonight. He has seen very limited ice time tonight, and the Sentinels were also busy in the transaction wire, bringing another player on board, a defenseman by the name of Seth Bacon. He has not made it in town tonight for tonight's game. Bacon with some experience in the FPHL, playing this season with the Blue Ridge Bobcats, and also has spent some time with the Monroe Moccasins and the Baton Rouge Zydeco in his past. Bethel University grad, NCAA Division III, and we'll see if the Sentinels will be able to get him back in the lineup tomorrow when they face off against the Prowlers again. Final game between Indiana and Port Huron on home ice tomorrow, and again it is a 1:30 start. It was originally on the schedule as a 12:30 face-off, but it will be a 1:30 start tomorrow between Indiana and Port Huron here at the Hamilton Community Ice Arena. And we'll take a look now at the latest on the FPHL out-of-town scoreboard, bring you up to date with all of the happenings around the league. And a final in from Twin City tonight. The Watertown Wolves have beaten the Twin City Thunderbirds. So the Watertown Wolves, who had been struggling, get in the win column here tonight. Watertown had lost its last 5, but they get the victory on the road tonight in Twin City. And look at this in the third period. The Danbury hat tricks and the Binghamton Black Bears. They've got it at 3-2 right now for Danbury. So we'll update that on the graphic on the board in front of us here. But if that is correct and stands to be true, the Binghamton Black Bears are in jeopardy of seeing their 7-game win streak come to an end tonight. And that is 3-2 in favor of Danbury in the third period. This one 2-1 as we get ready to start the third here in Indiana. PD playing tonight on the road in Blue Ridge. Good game so far for the Ice Cats. Up 3-0 in the third period on the road. Can't beat an effort like that on the road. The Columbus River Dragons with a 4-2 lead over the Biloxi Breakers on the road in Biloxi tonight. And that's in the second period. And the Baton Rouge Zydeco with a 3-0 lead over the Topeka Scarecrows in Topeka tonight. So that is the latest on the FPHL out-of-town scoreboard. We'll see if the Black Bears can rally and extend their win streak. And they're on the ropes right now. And Watertown getting a victory tonight to break out of their 5-game funk. And the Biloxi Breakers, they have lost 14 in a row coming into tonight. And they're on the short end of things against the Columbus River Dragons in Biloxi tonight.
Just to show you how fast things happen, I just refreshed the page. The Black Bears have now tied Danbury 3-3, so it's a quick moving hockey game out in Binghamton.
That didn't take long, and the way that the Black Bears are capable of scoring goals in bunches, who knows what might end up happening there. Two to one here as we get ready to start period number 3. The third period of Sentinels hockey is brought to you by Ryan Fur Creative. I'm Jim Mirabello along with Andy Petziger, and we should be in for a fantastic third period. It's been a good hockey game so far, and Indiana trailing by 1 as we get ready to begin the third. Chris Kerr gets set in net down to our left. Second straight start for Kerr. And the Port Huron Prowlers, who went with their backup goaltender last night, Bailey Huber, who got the shutout win in a performance in which he made 29 saves. He is in street clothes watching the game tonight as Reed Cooper, their number 1 goaltender over the course of the year, gets the call. Jamison Bork is the backup should something happen to Cooper. Bork on the bench. He's seen very limited action this year for Port Huron. Face off to start the third. Sentinels control. Tomacek deals it back to Maximus Merrick Tortorella, and from center ice he lifts it in deep and behind the Port Huron net. Zinchenko goes in after it, but coming away with it for the Prowlers and bringing it out to center ice. Lackney throws it forward from the far circle. A backhander over top of the Sentinels net. Lackey with it again off the boards. Feeds to Tim Organ along the left point. Organ throws it behind that Indiana goal. Lackney there. Prowlers have come out. A great puck movement here to start the third. Now Organ with it again. Sliding it to Bizal. Back to Organ to the left point. Steps in along the near board. Shoots. Getting a piece of it. Tomacek. And it caroms off him and up over the glass and out of play. So the Prowlers with some initial early pressure. 42 seconds into period 3.
Good job by the Indiana Sentinels, though, not to break in their own end, staying pretty tight in the middle of the ice. Most of that staying on the perimeter, and they'll take that all day.
Dalton Anderson ready now on a face-off for Indiana. Anderson against the Sentinels' Ray, and Port Huron able to control Ray. Working the puck along the boards and behind the net. Kicks at it with that right skate. Getting it freed up along the near point. Organ after it, but Bormanis knocks it away. Comes up right wing, hustling, taken to the boards, knocked down. Leaves the puck for a trailing Bauer for Indiana. Bauer back to Bormanis on the right wing side. Bormanis taken to the boards. Terrain keeps it in. A quick long shot goes wide of the net. Anderson was in front looking for the redirect, but the Prowlers come away with the puck, and they'll fire it through center and down deep into the Indiana end. Terrain back after it. Hands it to Ponovanov in behind his own goal. Steps up right wing, being pursued, but manages to clear it to center. The Prowlers regain possession there. Even strength to start the third. Only 2 minors called in the second period, coincidental minors. 8 penalty minutes against each team in period number 1. Puck in deep right wing side, Indiana territory. Remember, the Prowlers, they're the most penalized team in the FPHL so far this year. Puck in the left wing corner of the Indiana end, and the Prowlers come away with it. They feed Johnson right point over to the right wing side. Favaro snaps it in deep and behind the Indiana goal. Chasing after it, DeCumbus, who had a big night last night with a couple of goals. Gets it toward the front of the net and unable to get good wood on it is Billy Price. He couldn't get it settled down, and the loose puck cleared by the Sentinels out to center. DeCumbus into the Indiana end. Anderson gives chase left wing. Lease hustles back. Disrupts his shot on the way to the net, and it caroms up over the glass and out of play. So good credit given there to Jonas Lease of Indiana.
Both he and Esposito in the area there on the back check. Good hard work by both of those guys. That puck certainly wasn't going to get through, whether it got through Lease or not. It wasn't going to get through Esposito either.
Lease against Graham on the faceoff, played toward the front of the Indiana net, comes to Maximus Merrick Tortorella. He clears it off the right wing boards and back into the Port Huron end. Tortorella, a forward by trade, but playing defense here tonight. Lackney for Port Huron into the Indiana end, shoots it behind the Sentinels net. Pulls into the right wing corner, hit as he tried to grab it along the right wing side. Millette. And Pavlov comes up with the puck for the Sentinels. Outlets to Zinchenko up left wing over center red. Feeds Tomacek back to Zinchenko through the left circle. As that wrist shot caroms off the glass and goes up over the glass and out of play. Stopping the clock, 2 minutes and 10 seconds now into the third.
Good little give and go there between Tomacek and Zinchenko, giving Zinchenko an opportunity to try to let one go, but he really couldn't get the separation that he had wanted to. Good stick there by the Prowlers defender. He'll knock that one up and out of play.
Zinchenko, the leading goal getter on the Sentinels roster here tonight, right now with 12 on the season. Had an assist on the lone Indiana goal. Prowlers shoot it through center down deep into the Indiana end. Panovanov back after it. Port Huron converging quickly. Bucell on the right wing side. Leaves it in behind the net for a centering attempt by DeCombus, and that went off the side of the net, and the Sentinels come away with possession. Wormanis at center. To Bauer outside the Port Huron line, trying to whack that puck in deep. He's knocked down. Penalty coming up, and it's going to go against the Prowlers here, and the Sentinels will get a chance on the power play. I believe it's going to be a charging call at 3:18 of the third period. Sitting down is Luke James, and the door opens for Indiana on the Haas Insurance power play early in the third to try and get this game tied up.
Well, the Sentinels have had 3 power play opportunities today to try to find a way to get to the back of the net. Have been unable to do so, but have looked very good on the power play, especially with this unit. I like Zinchenko, Lease, and on the far side there, Bormanis up front. They've done a nice job of generating some chances. And then that second grouping with a couple of those Davenport guys as well.
You've got Pavlov and Colarusso back on the points. Draw one back to Colarusso at the left point. Leaves it along the left wing side where it'll be handled by Wormanis. Back to Colarusso. Now to Wormanis again, left wing boards. Wormanis stick handling on the power play. Try to get it to Colarusso, knocked away. Pavlov keeps it in though, barely, but shoots it in deep into the right wing corner of the Port Huron end. Anderson digging for it on the right wing side. Puck dug free. Pavlov at the point had it knocked away. It comes out to center. And hustling back to get to it is Colarusso. 1:26 to go on the Haas Insurance power play chance for the Sentinels, who are looking for the tying goal. Early in the third here on home ice against the Prowlers. Pavlov in his own end. Delivers to Panovanov, and now at center ice the feed to Bauer. Bauer trying to hit Peavy, broken up though by the Prowlers and cleared to center ice by Anderson. Sentinels with it. And here comes Stoichevsky, sending it into the right wing corner. He and one of the Prowlers go down. Puck loose in behind that Port Huron net. Sentinels dig it free. They get it out to the left wing side. Tomacek is shot, and the stop is made by Cooper. It's off his body and up over the glass and out of play. 49 seconds now to go on this power play chance.
Couple pump fakes there from Tomacek trying to get the Prowlers forward who was coming out to challenge out of the way, was able to get a shot on net, and Cooper able to get just enough of that with a shoulder to send it up and out of play. Really good communication in the neutral zone between Panovanov and Peter Stoichevsky. Stoichevsky knocked that down to the high stick, and Panovanov was right there to grab it, and he said, I can't touch this, you got to pick it up, and Stoichevsky was able to grab that, gain entry into the offensive zone, and we played on.
Peavy ready on the face-off. Got it to the left wing boards to Stoichevsky. Out now to Tomacek at the right point. Floats one toward the net, cut off on the way to the goal, and then cleared the length of the ice by Ryan Parsons. And that'll take some more time off of that penalty clock that's down to 31 seconds. Sentinels Tomacek leads the rush. Leaves it for Panovanov. Headman's a pass for Peavy. Double teamed as he crosses the line. Had his stick knocked away. And the Prowlers try and clear it out. Sentinels with 19 seconds to work with on this power play. Puck poked free behind the net, and the Prowlers get to it, and it'll be promptly cleared by Johnson to the Indiana end. Sentinels on the counterattack. On the move here urgently is Tomacek. Sends it in deep behind that Port Huron net. 3 seconds left on the power play. Prowlers try and clear. Kept alive by Panovanov. Down the left wing side. His shot save. Rebound in front. Knocked wide of the net by Tomacek. He had a good chance there. Kept alive by Pavlov along the right point. And then Tomacek hustling after the puck as it bounces free. Big battle along the boards along the Port Huron blue line, and it comes to center ice. Tortorella with it. Quickly on the move up left wing. In with a shot. Fired it wide of the net as he came with a burst of speed through that left wing circle. Pavlov keeps the play alive for Indiana. And Pavlov trying to work into Esposito, broken up by the Prowlers. Broken stick on the ice, causing some traffic jams near the Port Huron line, and the Prowlers will take advantage of that, get possession. Timothy Organ in the near side of his own end. Brings it out to center red. He's hit by Zinchenko. Puck knocked free. DeCumbus able to work it into the Indiana end. Tortorella back. Knocked it away. DeCumbus, though, recovers. Steers one toward the net. Deflected from right in front and just wide of the Indiana goal by Blake Anderson. Battle now on the far wing. Lee is trying to play it away from Anderson. He does get it to Zinchenko. Headman feed on the right wing side to Indiana's Wormanis. And his shot goes wide of the net with Zinchenko coasting in front of the goal. Wormanis, after a loose puck, gets to it, left circle, shoots, and the puck steered aside from in tight by Cooper. Sentinels pressuring now. Colarusso a shot on the stick save made by Cooper. Puck free right wing side, and the Prowlers come up with it, and they'll bring it out to center ice. Knocked away Zinchenko after the loose puck. Getting there first, though, is Favaro. And as he plays it toward the net, the whistle blows, and they're going to call offside, a very late whistle.
Yeah, very, very late whistle, and could have been a very good chance for the Indiana Sentinels, but we play on.
2-1, Prowlers lead, 13-10 to go, third here in Indiana on the Sentinels Hockey Network. Port Huron leading it 2-1. The Prowler goals tonight scored by Nicholas Favaro at 18:14 of the first. And then Alexander Ray at 18:32 of the second to put his team on top 2-1. In the second, Jonas Lees ties it, set up by Bo Zinchenko at 4:25. And Andy, you mentioned it when we were on the break, 48 now in a row on the power play without cashing in for Indiana. And the Prowlers up with the puck, sent through center by Parsons into Sentinels territory. It rolls in behind that Indiana net. And Backus Terrain takes his man down along the boards, but quickly back up on his skates with the puck is Ray, putting it in front, and it's deflected by Bucell wide of the net. Esposito now for Indiana. Off the boards from behind the net, handing it to Terrain. He'll drop it off for Ethan Esposito up left wing. He'll flip it in the air through center. Peavy after it on right wing. Peavy in the Port Huron end. Leaving it in the right wing corner for Tomacek, trying to get it to Esposito in front. It went off his stick toward the net, and then reaching down to glove it and hang on to it is Cooper. To stop play with 12:31 remaining in the third.
That's the right idea for Tomacek. Look into the middle of the ice for Ethan Esposito, who's driving right down the gut. Might get an accidental bounce off of one of the Port Huron defenders. You never really know, but that's the right play to throw it right to the middle of the ice.
Bradburn, Anderson, and Bauer up front for Indiana. Comes to Bauer as Anderson won the faceoff, and Bauer's shot whistled wide of the net, and the hard carom sent it all the way back to center. Pavlov with it now for Indiana to center right on right wing. Dumps it in behind that Port Huron goal. Down to 12:16 to go in the third. Port Huron on top 2-1. Prowlers look to clear. Pavlov hustling, trying to hold it in, but circling in to grab possession. Graham settles things down at his own end. And gets the puck to Morgan, stripped away from him by Anderson. Down right wing, bearing in, looking, shooting, and he fired it, and the stop made by Cooper. And Anderson with a good shot and a good chance right there to try and tie this game up as he had room to work down the right wing side. But unable to get it home, and it remains a 2-1 Port Huron lead. Here's Reggie Millette at center, cranks it off the glass left wing and down deep into the Indiana end. Padovanov with it in behind his own goal. Padovanov, long outlet pass, grabbed at center ice by Bormanis of Indiana. Bormanis steps in. He lets a shot go wide of the net. Karam off the boards. Cooper will take no chances. He'll reach down and glove it, hang on, but the Sentinels generating some chances here midway through the third.
What a read in the neutral zone by Dalton Anderson. He saw that play happening, was able to pop out right here along the wall, poke check the puck away, had a 2-on-1, and once again did a little bit of a pump fake to try to get Reed Cooper to commit, but Cooper, stoic as ever, able to stay on top of it and get just enough of it with the blocker to knock it wide.
So Dalton Anderson with that chance. Anderson with 4 on the year. Playing in his 30th game this season. Puck cleared by the Prowlers to center. Maximus Merrick Tortorella shoots it back down deep into the Port Huron end. Prowlers clear, Terrain with it at center. Backhands it in deep Port Huron territory. Reed Cooper knows he's in a battle tonight. And he has faced 25 shots, stopped 24 of them. Puck played into the Indiana end. Maximus Merrick Tortorella with it. Tried to spot Esposito at center, but stepping in front of that pass to break it up is Anderson, and he clears it in deep into the near side of the Indiana end. Takes a hit from Terrain as he went after that puck. Tortorella, good move to bring it out to center. Tortorella up right wing, double teamed. One arms it in deep into the right wing corner and goes in after it. Peavy in there also. Peavy trying to work that puck free. Peavy pinned to the boards by Brockway, who gives him a couple of extra shots. And the Prowlers have possession of the puck. 10.5 to go in the third. Indiana needing a goal. And the Prowlers with possession. Parsons in his own end. Swings it out to center ice to Lockhart. Into the Indiana end. Lockhart, not known for his offensive skills. And he knocked one just wide of the net as he cut in toward the goal. Lockhart, 2 goals on the season. Puck in Indiana territory. Grabbed by Bauer, and he'll clear it out to center ice. Prowlers with it, and they're offside as Ducell tried to cut his way quickly into the Indiana end. And that brings the whistle with 10:01 remaining in the third period.
Get later and later in this hockey game, you're going to start to see more from the Sentinels defense pinching up into the play, trying to generate some offense. So more than ever, you want to make sure you're communicating on the ice and making sure if you are a defenseman, your forward knows that you're going. Somebody has to come back and take your place.
And especially with some defensemen that have offensive skills like Maximus Merrick Tortorella, who normally is up front. Pavlov defensively has shown some offensive prowess this year. Panovanov as well. Here are the Prowlers through center quickly into the Indiana end on the left wing side. Terrain back, takes his man into the boards. Graham, puck loose, left wing side, shot by Lackney wide of the Indiana net. Anderson goes after it now far wing. Frees it up for Brendan Bauer. And he'll slide it out to center ice. Grabbed by Oregon at center, quickly into the Indiana end. Has a man open, Lackney coming in down the left wing side, and he fired it wide of the net. Lackney with a big chance there. And 9:20 remaining as the puck comes all the way back into the Port Huron end. Oregon clears it off the right wing boards. Millette after it at center. Poked away from him by Colarusso of Indy. And here's Bormanis on the move. His shot wide of the net on the stick side off Cooper. Prowlers with possession from deep in their own territory. Handled on the right wing side by Alex Johnson, defenseman. He's played in all 40 games for Fort Huron. He is a coaching player as well, player assistant coach with head coach Matt Graham. Puck cleared through center by the Prowlers down deep into the Indiana end. Richie Colarusso back after it. Works it along the right wing side, trying to play it out. Tomacek. DeCumbus ties him up on the near side. Puck rolling free. Prowlers with some sustained pressure here, keeping the Sentinels hemmed in with 8.5 to go in the third period. Prowlers dig the puck free. They get it back to the point area. It's played to Johnson, left wing side. Wrist one from long range wide of the net. Puck sits free, and the Sentinels get to it. Cleared by Richie Colarusso through center, and it's going to be an icing call here against Indiana with 8:11 to go in the third period. And the Prowlers on top 2-1. Neither team has scored here in this third period. Third period of Sentinels hockey brought to you by Ryan for Creative. 8:11 to go in the third. Prowlers 2, Sentinels 1 on the Sentinels Hockey Network.
Vitamin water helps keep me hydrated. Encore. One more time, but I'm hoping I can keep you 2 a.m. and I won't. After encore. After encore. Next thing you know, it felt just like this. Come on. Vitamin water from New York.
Sentinels in need of a goal here in period number 3, down 2-1. Prowlers looking to get one and get some breathing room. Final in overtime. Danbury hat-tricks 4. Binghamton Black Bears 3. So the streak has come to an end. And right from the face-off, it comes toward the front of the net and is shot wide of the Indiana goal by Jamie Bussell. Prowlers try and get it back toward the front of the net. A centering attempt by James broken up. Sentinels counterattack. Lees sends it up the right wing side. Indiana wanting a line change. Lee is heading to the bench. Sentinels with it at center. Anderson scoots it along the left wing boards down deep into the Port Huron end. Giving chase, Ethan Esposito in the right wing corner. Anderson joins him. 2 Prowlers in there. And coming away with the puck is Alex Johnson. And he clears it on the backhand out to center ice. It rolls slowly into the Indiana end. Pavlov back after it. Ray going to get to it though. Ray's shot blocked as Tortorella stepped into the face-off circle to prevent him from getting a good grade A scoring chance off. And the puck sent by the Sentinels back into Port Huron territory. Sentinels with some pressure on, but the Prowlers able to break free and get it to Ouellette up right wing at center. And into the Indiana end, Reggie Millette trying to deal it toward the front of the net. Knocked away. Pavlov looks to clear. Peavy over there also. 2 Prowlers. They dig the puck free, but Esposito steps in front of the centering attempt. Gets Wood on that puck to clear it to center. 6:55 now to go in the third. Prowlers play it through center down deep into the Indiana end. Terrain after it. Sends it off the board. Picked up by Bormanis at center. 1-on-2 to the Port Huron line. Manages to keep it alive. Players joining. Bormanis in front. Peavy there. Couldn't quite get it settled down and teed up as the net is dislodged by Cooper. Play continuing along the left wing side. And the Sentinels dig the puck free with that net way off its moorings. And finally the whistle blows.
Prowlers not happy with Blake Peavy, who's just driving to the net. Peavy saying, I didn't mean to hit your goaltender. I'm just driving to the net. And it looked like he was almost kind of not so much nudged into the goaltender, but he didn't really have anywhere to go, Blake Peavy. And the Prowlers not happy about it at all. Felt like Peavy had taken a shot at Reed Cooper.
And that net does have a propensity for coming loose, as visiting goaltenders do know here in this building. And now Coach Everett Thompson calling his team over to the bench.
He might be trying to call Paul Jean.
Paul Jean, the referee, and Chris Rowe. He's gesturing in the direction of Jean, and you can hear him yelling Paul and wanting to get his attention. Right now, Chris Rowe is over talking to the Port Huron bench. And Chris Paulin, their associate head coach. And Everett Thompson had slammed the door shut on the bench. He's not happy at all that we couldn't at least get a conversation and an explanation.
Paul Jean wasn't hearing any of it. Everett Thompson not thrilled about being iced out there.
Face off in the left wing circle of the Port Huron end, and the Prowlers come away with it off the draw. And up with it to center ice is Price. Lost the handle on it. Tomacek after it. Price runs at him, knocks him down from behind. Lease after the puck, shoots it in deep and behind the Port Huron net. Sentinels converge. Lease digs it free, tried to free it up for Tomacek, but couldn't get it to him, and the Prowlers have possession. Anderson up right wing into the Indiana end. Brings it into the far corner, hit by Panovanov in behind the net. Panovanov spins away from a check from Anderson. Brings the puck to the near side. Now he's knocked off stride. Terrain over to help out. Terrain in the battle in the near corner. Panovanov also. And Terrain hacking at Port Huron's Anderson, who had gone down. Play continues, and Terrain putting Anderson hard into the boards on the near side. Johnson up with the puck now left wing. Johnson trying to set up Anderson. He's hit and knocked down. Sentinels with it. Lees sends it through center and down deep into the Port Huron end. Favaro back after it. Favaro sends it along the far side. Millette there, unable to clear. Anderson pressuring. Millette will get a second opportunity, though, Floats it along the far side, and a bad clearing attempt. Sentinels with it, and the save made on the turnover chance by Bauer. Cooper alert there. Sentinels still with it, and Stoichevsky is shot. That hits traffic in front. Bauer swings one wide of the goal. Anderson keeps it alive. Now to Peavy. Long shot deflects toward the net, and the stop is made by Cooper. Some chances here for Indiana. Looking for the tying goal late in the third. Battle for the puck on the left wing side of the Port Huron end. Big jam up, players from both teams in there. Puck comes free, and the Prowlers take possession of it. Out to center ice. Skates Graham. Graham has some contact away from the play. Graham shoots it down deep into the Indiana end. Pavlov there to get it. Slides it to Anderson. He's got some room. Skates to center red. Lifts it in the air down deep into the right wing corner of the Port Huron end. Giving chase, Colarusso in behind the net. Colarusso trying to find the handle on that puck, having a hard time doing so. And the Prowlers get possession with 4:18 to go. And they clear to center. Pavlov hits James at center as they send it in deep into the Indiana end. Kerr away from the net trying to clear. Prowlers forechecking pressure applied quickly. Puck left wing side of the Indiana end. Dug free by Zinchenko. Still in the area and behind his own net. Zinchenko looking for an opening. Finds a man on the left wing side. Colarusso. He slides it to center ice. Loose at center. Bucell with it. Play whistle down though. A hand pass by Bucell. And 3:51 now to go here in this third period.
Couple really beautiful chances coming for both Brendan Bauer and Peter Stoichevsky. Unable to find a way to get to the puck to the back of the net, but they are sniffing around in all the right areas.
3:51 to go, third, 2-1 Port Huron on the Sentinels Hockey Network.
What's in your decision to donate blood? More than you know. One donation can save lives and fuel research to save many more. A few moments of your time sparks moments like these. And these. Hope cures, empowers, and strengthens us. Hope is in all the moments that matter. And it's in all of us. Versity Blood Centers. Hope. It's in our blood.
.351 remains in the third period. And Indiana battling hard to try and get the tying goal. Everett Thompson now getting the conversation that he wanted with Paul Jean.
About 5 minutes too late, but at least we still get to have that conversation.
He knew sooner or later Paul was going to have to come over toward the bench. He couldn't stay down in that corner all night.
Well, once again, we're under the 5-minute mark of the third period. The Sentinels have given up 2 late goals, one in the first and one in the second period. They've been pushing and pressing here in the third, cannot afford to take their foot off the gas pedal, but they also want to make sure that they're taking care of their side of the ice.
Prowlers come away with it off the face-off. And Favaro out in front of his own bench. He and Esposito in a battle. The Prowlers tap the puck into the Indiana end. Maximus Merrick, Tortorella back to get it. Clearing pass stolen away. Prowlers get it toward the front of the net, and it's shot right through the slot wide of the goal by Bobby Price. He had a good chance there, and that could have really put the Sentinels in a deep hole, but he was off target. Sentinels get it ahead on the left wing side. On the move, Stoichevsky trying to get it toward the front of the net block. Puck rolls into the right wing corner. Port Huron territory, Stoichevsky off the boards with it. Put it in front and just beyond the reach of an oncoming Peavy from the point. Prowlers cleared it. Tortorella with it. Starts the attack back the other way. 3 men strong to the line. Tortorella shooting right on net. And the stop made by Cooper, and he hangs on to it. Maximus Merrick Tortorella generating that chance there. with 3:02 to go.
It's a really good release by Merrick Tortorella. He's got 4 white jerseys surrounding him. He's got a second here at his own blue line where he's able to find some space, whistle through the neutral zone, and rip a shot on net up high on Cooper, force him to make that save and cover the puck, most importantly, and get an offensive zone draw.
Manis ready on the face-off of the Sentinels in the right wing circle. Sentinels control back to Colarusso, shooting blocked. Puck caroms into the right wing corner. Prowlers try and clear. Colarusso hustles over, kept it alive momentarily, but the Sentinels had to retreat as the puck was near the blue line, and it comes to Millette at center. Into the Indiana end, tries to leave it for Graham trailing the play. Graham and Bormanis battling. Lease also. Lease taps it to center. Lackney with it at center. Just lobs it down deep into the far corner of the Indiana end. Pavlov back after it. 2:33 to go. Whistle, play stoppage. Colarusso joined with referee Paul Jean, who's over in the penalty box area right now. Colarusso's being sent off to the Sentinels dressing room.
Well, tough time to take a penalty for the Indiana Sentinels. They got him for a cross-checking call. 2:33 to go in the third period. The Sentinels are going to go down a man.
We've only had one minor in the period thus far, and that came at 3:18. It was a charging minor against Port Huron's Luke James. And they were basically letting both teams play here in the third period. They were letting a lot of stuff go both ways, which is fine. And it makes for some good, intense hockey. But Colarusso tagged with the minor here. 2 minutes on the board against Indiana with just 2:33 left in regulation time. Peavy ready on the faceoff for the Sentinels. In the left wing circle against Ray. Puck caroms up over the glass, out of play. 3 seconds elapsing off the penalty to Colarusso. He gets 2 for cross-checking and a 10-minute misconduct for abuse of officials along with it.
Well, the Sentinels have 4 shorthanded goals this season. 2 of them coming to this Port Huron Prowlers club, both in the same game, with Jonas Lease and Ashton Colazzo getting shorthanded goals for the Indiana Sentinels against the Port Huron Prowlers. So it would be a beautiful time to be able to get your 5th.
Powerade penalty kill for Indiana. Face off in the left circle of the Sentinels end. Philip Tomacek to take it against Price. Puck one back to Favaro, left point. Skates in, shoots through a screen, deflects just wide of the Indiana net. Tomacek with a big hit on the left wing side, but the Prowlers keep the play alive. Favaro skates laterally, shoots, scores from long range. Favaro with the long range shot, might have been deflected by Bucell in front. Power play goal, and the Prowlers lead it 3-1. And the crowd here letting the officiating crew know what they thought about that minor against Colarusso for Indiana. And so the minor will come off the board. It's a power play goal for Port Huron. And they're up 3-1. The power play goal comes 18 seconds into the penalty called to Richie Colarusso. And the Prowlers have a 2-goal margin and a big burden lifted off the shoulders of Reed Cooper in net. Down to our right for Port Huron. And the goal does go to Bucell, deflecting in the shot from Favaro.
They are going to give that to Bucell, his 6th goal of the season. He had a goal last night as well. And it is now a 2-goal deficit for the Indiana Sentinels as they take a timeout.
17:44 is the time of the goal for Jamie Bucell. Power play goal, Nicholas Favaro assisting on it. And the Sentinels gathered around their bench. Now is when you've really got to think about getting the goaltender off for the extra tacker. You'll do it a little bit earlier, down by 2 than maybe you would be down by 1. Right now, Chris Kerr is over in a conversation with his goaltending partner, John Werber, at the edge of the Sentinels bench while the conversation is taking place between Everett Thompson and the players that he'll have on the ice. out here in a desperate attempt to try and get one. And
I would imagine with this being an offensive zone face-off, that Kerr will start on the bench. And they'll go with 6 attackers.
they will bring Kerr off. He'll sit down now. Zinchenko, Peavy, Bormanis, Panovanov, Pavlov, and Bauer. Left circle face-off, Port Huron end. Prowlers control, empty net down to our left. Puck knocked into the right wing corner, Port Huron end. Prowlers battling to try and clear. Bauer will keep it alive for Indiana on the right wing side. Bauer off the boards with the puck. Feeds it back to the left point to Pavlov. Slides it in deep. Left wing circle, Bormanis there. Throws it through the slot, comes all the way to the right wing boards. A minute 42 left. Sentinels working free. Bormanis, right wing circle, shooting with traffic in front. It's blocked on the way to the net. And the Prowlers come up with possession, brought by Lackney out to center. He's got an empty net to shoot at. He shoots at it, but Panovanov blocks it. And the puck rolls in behind the Indiana net. Millette comes up with it there, tries to go to Brockway at the point. Brockway not able to hold it in. It comes out to center. Prowlers shooting from long range back in toward the net again. Sentinels block it on the way to the goal. Panovanov does. And then Pavlov comes away with the puck and sends it out to center ice. And it rolls back into the Port Huron end. Alex Johnson with it. Johnson pressured on the left wing side. Net empty to our left. Sentinels down by a pair. Exactly a minute now to go. Puck in the right wing corner, Port Huron end. Tomacek trying to come up with it. Bauer does for Indiana to Pavlov right point. Across to Panovanov on the left side. He'll send it in deep in behind the goals. Zinchenko gains control in the right wing corner. Now to Pavlov on the right point. Off to Zinchenko again. Zinchenko facing some pressure in the right wing corner as he tries to center. Battling to keep that play alive. Big jam up with the clock down to 33 seconds. And the Prowlers get possession of the puck. Lackney in his own end had it poke checked away, but able to recover and clear it is Alex Johnson out to center ice. Sentinels play it right back into the Port Huron end again. Prowlers with control. Millette up with it at center. Over to DeCumbus to the Indiana line on the left wing side. Lee steps in. He'll take over. Lease to center red. Lease up the left wing side. Lease feeds it in deep and behind the Port Huron net. Time's going to run out here as it's down to just a dwindling couple of seconds in the far corner. And the Prowlers get the victory tonight, 3-1 over the Indiana Sentinels. The Prowlers have extended their win streak to 5 games. They've made it 6 in a row over Indiana. The Sentinels will have a chance at some redemption tomorrow, but certainly a frustrating one here tonight. And 3-1 the final score. The Prowlers get overall their 23rd win of the season. And the Sentinels were down 1-0 after one. They outshot Port Huron in the first, 11-8. They tie the game in the second at 4:25 on a beautiful goal, a highlight reel goal scored by Jonas Lease, his 5th of the year. Set up on a nice pass from Bo Zinchenko. 1-1 at the end of 2. And then what turns out to be the game-winning goal in the third period. The Prowlers in the second period, rather. At 18:32, the goal scored late in the second by Ryan Parsons. Assist going to Alexander Ray and Connor Bazal, and that turns out to be the game winner, an even strength goal at 18:32 of the second. To the third we go, and the Prowlers catch a break in a relatively penalty-free third period. A cross-checking minor called at 17:27 to Richie Colarusso. That opened the door for the Prowlers on the power play, and the Prowlers cash in to get a big insurance goal at 17:44. Goal getter Jamie Bussell is 6th of the year. Nicholas Favaro assisting on the power play to put Port Huron on top 3-1, and that's the final. That's how it ends here tonight. The Sentinels wind up out shooting the Prowlers 29-25, including 10-5 in the third period. Port Huron 8 in the first, 12 in the second, 5 in the third for the total of 25. Indiana 11 in the first, 8 in the second, 10 in the third for their total of 29 on the night. So a hard-fought battle between these two teams. And Port Huron able to get the power play goal late in the third period. In that period, we only had a couple of minors at 17, or at period number 3. A charging minor handed out to Port Huron's Luke James, and that created a power play chance for Indiana early in the third period, and Indiana unable to capitalize on that. And that's 48 in a row now, power play chances that they've not been able to cash in on, and that was the only penalty of the third period up until that cross-checking minor handed out to Colarusso, and he got a 10-minute abuse of officials' misconduct to go along with it. And the power play opens the door for the third goal for the Prowlers, and they win it 3-1. Everett Thompson still on the Sentinels bench, and he's having a conversation with Paul Jean, linesman Jeremy McWalter, and the other over there as well, Brian Thurnauer, as that conversation continues. And certainly a mounting of frustrations for the Sentinels and their coaching staff and the whole entire organization as they battled so hard here tonight and had a one-goal game up until late. And the Prowlers, they show why they're in second place and why they've won 22 games coming into tonight, 23 now, as they strike when they had to and they get out of here with a 3-1 win.
Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head. It's just timely goals for the Port Huron Prowlers. An ill-timed penalty by Richie Colarusso late in the third period, and that's the time where you really want to hit where it hurts. And Port Huron was able to do that pretty quick on that power play, get a redirect in front from Jamie Bussell, make it 3-1. And unfortunately for the Indiana Sentinels, that was pretty much the end of the hockey game. And like you said, it was a phenomenal effort from the Sentinels for a good portion of the game. Had a lot of pressure in that third period. You can point to the power play going 0 for again. But at the end of the day, it's not just the power play where you need to score goals. You also need to score them 5-on-5 as well, even strength, and be able to pick up those timely goals. And right now the Sentinels just unable to find that at the moment.
And you look at the time of those Port Huron goals tonight, 18:14 of the first, 18:32 of the second, and then the one that made it 3-1 at 17:44 of the third period, key scoring at key times. So the Sentinels will try and bounce back against this Port Huron team tomorrow afternoon. Again, it's a 1:30 Eastern Time start. It had been previously published as a 12:30 start. It will be a 1:30 start tomorrow, and that means Andy and I will be on the air with a Body Armor pregame show at 1:15 tomorrow, and that Sentinels Sunday game later in the year, which was also originally slated to start at 12:30, will be a 1:30 start, and that'll be on the 15th of February when the Topeka Scarecrows are in. So 2 more Sunday games, one tomorrow, one on the 15th of March, and both of them starting at 1:30 in the afternoon. So time running out to see the Sentinels in person if you have not done so yet, tomorrow afternoon, and then 5 coming up later in the month of March, 13th, 14th, and 15th against Topeka, and then Binghamton on the 20th and 21st to conclude the home portion of the inaugural season in the FPHL. A couple of games coming up that are considered home games in neutral site territory in Thief River Falls, Minnesota on the 27th and 28th of March. So we'll see if the Sentinels, they've got more wins on the road than they do at home this year, and let's see if they can maybe get a spark off of this effort here today, a little bit of a confidence boost, and getting Maximus Merrick Tortorella back in the lineup, and certainly Bo Zinchenko, I think, certainly helped things tonight for Indiana. Zinchenko with a great pass to set up Jonas Lees for the tying goal, and having those guys back gives the Sentinels an opportunity to put Blake Peavy back up front in his original position, and you don't have much time to think about this one now as we head back out onto the ice tomorrow afternoon.
Well, and you also got to think, too, since last week there have been 6 new bodies added to this lineup, and Philip Tomacek, Noah Bradburn, Brendan Bauer, Peter Stoichewski, Christers Bormanis, and just today, Darren Trebus. So a lot of new guys trying to get integrated into this lineup. Hopefully tomorrow we could see Seth Bacon. Unsure if he'll be able to make it in for the early game or not, but it sounds like he for sure will be part of the squad for next weekend against Port Huron. So it will be nice for when those guys kind of get a couple games under their belt in this system and figure out how this team is trying to play and trying to build their culture. That's something Everett Thompson has talked about multiple times in the latter part of the season, is making sure we're building the correct culture here at Indiana, making this a place that you want to play and that other people want to play, and make it a competitive place to be. So it'll be exciting to see how the final couple weeks of this season turns out for the Indiana Sentinels.
Seth Bacon, a defenseman who's got some pro experience under his belt, and hopefully that should help. 5'11", 195-pounder. And we will see him, if not tomorrow in the lineup, then certainly by next weekend, as he was added to the Indiana roster today and traveling en route to Indiana to join the Sentinels. We'll take one last look at the FPHL out-of-town scoreboard, and the biggest news coming tonight as the Danbury Hat-Tricks go on the road and in a shootout defeat the Binghamton Black Bears 4-3 is the final score. And that one ends the win streak for the Black Bears. They had won 7 in a row coming into tonight. And the Watertown Wolves, who were struggling, they had lost 5 in a row. And as you see, they beat the Twin City Thunderbirds 3-2 on the road tonight in Twin City. So big wins for the road teams, Watertown and certainly Danbury in Binghamton. Here tonight, the Prowlers, the road team, win it 3-1 over the Sentinels. PD shuts out the Blue Ridge Bobcats 4-0. Blue Ridge had been playing well, 7-1-2 in their last 10, but they're blanked on their home ice tonight. What a night for the road teams. Columbus keeps that going, 6-3 in the third. They lead the Biloxi Breakers, who can't buy a win with a bag of gold. They are 14 in a row, and they do have some gold down there in Biloxi probably, but not enough to get a win. 14 in a row heading into tonight, and Biloxi down 6-3 on their home ice in the third. And the Baton Rouge Zydeco leading the Topeka Scarecrows 4-1 in the third period, and that is the latest on the FPHL out-of-town scoreboard. Tomorrow, the Sentinels and the Prowlers, 1:15 for the Body Armor pregame, 1:30 for the face-off, and we hope that you will be able to join us then. Final home game for the Sentinels before they embark on the road to Port Huron for a pair of games against the Prowlers next weekend, next Friday and Saturday at McMorran Place Arena. So one last chance to see the Sentinels at home before they head out onto the road in Port Huron. Our thanks to the Ryan Furr production crew tonight. Ryan Furr, Jordan Vickers, Thomas Voiles, Ethan Evans, and Christian Totten with the hard work behind the scenes tonight, bringing you Sentinels hockey from the Hamilton Community Ice Arena in Columbus, Indiana. Once again, our final score, the Port Huron Prowlers 3, the Indiana Sentinels 1. For Andy Petzinger, I'm Jim Mirabello saying good night. This is Indiana Sentinels hockey.